Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you may be. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil is the epicenter of the mixed martial arts world this weekend. Tomorrow night, live on pay-per-view, it is UFC 301. Pantoja versus Erceg. UFC 300, of course, a tough act to follow. We'll see if the Brazilian contingent and the other world-class fighters can follow suit here in Rio. Moments now away from the official weigh-in taking place over at the host hotel. 28 athletes set to weigh in over the course of the next 2 hours. None more important, of course, than the flyweight champ, Alexandre Pantoja, and the top flyweight title challenger, Steve Erceg. All right, with that, welcome in live from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It is the official UFC 301 weigh-in show. John Anik, thrilled to be sitting in today for Dan Hellie alongside the Iron Lung, Paul Felder. Television's Dean Thomas, and my right-hand man, the Hall of Famer, two-division champion Daniel Cormier. Already drinking, DC.
Well, you know, the beer is not even just for fun. This is this is necessary.
It's cold.
I mean, this beer goes down my throat and just touching my body. It's so damn hot here.
We can see a golf course from our hotel room. You're not playing, no sticks in Rio.
Can you believe that there's a golf course outside the window and it's so hot I'm not even going? There's no chance. The boy's been sweating the whole time. My shirt is, you know, it's a little ruffled.
That's all right.
I usually look a little better, you know.
And our guy, Dean Thomas, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, festive today wearing a gi.
Yes, you know, we are in Brazil. It only makes sense that I pay homage to the place where it started and why we're all here. So I wanted to wear the gi, and especially it's a UFC gi.
Yeah, but you hot too, though.
Oh, I'm burning up. I'm burning up.
I wanted to go the no gi option with just the tights for the broadcast, but
that's good.
Hey, what happened to your jacket? What happened to the suit you had in the back? You changed
my
it?
Cobra Kai.
Your Cobra Kai outfit.
You know, I didn't feel that it was appropriate. Me and John discussed that.
Just trying to figure out the Cobra Kai tie-in in Rio, and
I might put the headband on at some point, though, just to.
You're a kickboxing man anyways.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a thrill for me to sit up here with you guys, right? I don't get this opportunity very often. We got a lot of special things going on. We have a special guest caricature artist with us today. His name is Andre Lemos, and he is with us here today. And he's going to add some culture to our set, and it is my understanding that he is going to draw all of us on set at the end of the program.
Oh, wow.
But let us show you exactly why we are here. I mean, we have fun on this show, but it is UFC 301, Pantoja versus Erceg. It's 11 p.m. local time for the pay-per-view, 10 p.m. Eastern time in that traditional slot. It starts, of course, though, with the early prelims, of which there are many. We are 14 deep live on Saturday night. Among the highlights here, Ismael Bonfim taking on old friend Vince from Hell Pichel. Joaquim Silva, Neto BJJ taking on the MMA Labs Drakkar Klose in the featured bout of the early prelims. Those begin 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and they will give way to the late prelims. These can be seen on ESPN and ESPN Plus as well. Jean Silva taking on William Gomez. Karolina Kowalkiewicz remarkably trying to extend her winning streak to 5. She takes on Yasmin Lucindo. And a hell of a featured prelim for you in the men's featherweight division. Jack Shore trying to improve to 18-1, taking on Joe Anderson Brito. And then, of course, all systems go live on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. A lot of big favorites, candidly, to begin this pay-per-view main card. They are Caio Borralho, Michel Pereira, and Vitor Petrino. We'll see if they can all hold serve respectively. As you might have heard, the King of Rio, Jose Aldo, is back taking on the oncoming bantamweight contender, Jonathan J. Matt Martinez. And then, of course, all roads lead to the flyweight championship fight, Alexandre Pantoja and Steve Erceg. So, DC, it's pretty crazy, right? Steve Erceg fights in a UFC Fight Night main card bout against Matt Schnell on March 2nd. Guy less than a year after making his UFC debut, now fighting for the world title. It's insane.
It's insane, and we saw from the very first moment that this kid had something special. You remember he came in and he fought Dvorak, and he beat him, and we didn't know if it was a one-off, but he has shown time and time again that he has the ability to compete at a higher level as every fight has gotten tougher, but he's made him look easier. But he gets to fight Alexandre Pantoja, the champion of the world, who has gotten better at every single turn. I believe that even though Pantoja didn't finish his last fight, it was his most impressive performance. It showed that he is not lacking on his morals, even though he is now the world champion. This is a fantastic matchup, and it's one that it reminds me of certain title fights where people go, oh, I don't know if this guy belongs. And then when you're watching it, you're like, man, not only does he belong, this is exactly where he should and needs to be. I can say that for Pantoja, but now I can say that for Erceg.
Man, what I like about this matchup is it's a contrast of styles. Erceg is so clean. I don't think there's a cleaner striker in the flyweight division. I mean, he's so clean. When you look at that left hook he hit Matt Schnell with, I mean, that was as clean as it gets. If I were to say, okay, look up left hook in the dictionary, you get that one, right?
Yes,
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, he kept his guard high, and again, I just love the way when we talked to Steve Erceg. He came into the fighter meetings. He's by himself. We talked to him about what this is like for his family and how they don't want any attention. But the kid obviously admits to having a little bit of that imposter syndrome where you get this title shot, only 3 fights into your UFC career, not even a full year on the roster. So we're going to really find out how he handles pressure in this situation. And Pantoja, Austin, I see you wanted to jump in, DC, but Pantoja, the way he came in and the way they're taking Steve Erceg as seriously as they are, just shows how much they respect him and the talent that this kid brings to this fight. And it's new blood in the flyweight division. This is what this division needed, was some new guy to come in here and kind of set the world on fire, because Pantoja's beaten all these other guys.
And these guys, for a long time, it was 2 guys, right? It was Moreno and it was Davis and Figueiredo, so it's a refreshed division. You know what I love, though, Paul, to your point about him coming in by himself? There's something to being in UFC championship fights. We all start to wear jewelry. We buy super expensive clothes, right? You see a 39-year-old man wearing a big old gold necklace because you want to look the part. Steve Erceg doesn't care. He shows up with a polo like me. And it looked like he didn't even steam it.
He pulled it right out the choke. He pulled it right out the choke. Yeah, man, that is refreshing.
I love that.
That is refreshing because it's all about the fight to them. It's not about the glitz and the glamour. It is all about the fight to them, and that is why I am giving him a big shot.
And he's long. He's so long for the weight class.
Oftentimes there are more storylines on the challenger, right? But there will be plenty of love over the course of the next 2 hours for Alexandre Pantoja, competing here in Brazil for the first time since 2013. And I think relative to his skill set, his profile not quite as high as it could be and should be and will be in the not too distant future. So 3 minutes until the first fighter hits the scale. We have 18 of our 28 athletes already down there. That includes UFC flyweight title challenger Steve Erceg, who will be the first man on the scale here today. Nice. And another shout out to Andre Lemos, by the way, our caricature artist who is here with us on set. There he is, working hard, talented individual there working on the UFC logo. He'll be with us throughout the weigh-in show today. So among the highlights here at UFC 301, Pantoja versus Erceg, Paulie, the return of the King of Rio, Jose Aldo Jr., and it felt pretty final when he was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. I don't think a lot of these fans were expectant that less than a year later he'd be back in the octagon, but that's our reality this weekend.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's one of those things, and we talk about it all the time, right? Being retired, having done it not in front of big crowds. I mean, to do it in Rio, I'm sure that when he knew they were coming back here and he still has combat sports in his life, he's done some stuff outside of the octagon, I think coming back here and maybe having one more, maybe not, maybe at the age that he's at, he still feels like he's got a lot to give. And I'm sure the fans here in Rio are extremely happy, and everyone on the card, right? When we talk to all these guys throughout the week during the fighter meetings, they're all so amped that he came back, that they get to share the same octagon with somebody like Jose Aldo Jr. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see where his mentality is coming back after a long layoff.
That's what Erceg said. He goes, one thing about being here, but he goes, being above Jose Aldo is crazy. Because he's a legend and everybody respects him so much. But there's one thing to retire. There's one thing to retire and be active in another combat sport. That is the difference. It makes it easier to say, I want to do it again. As this guy, 8 title fights, 6 performance awards. His takedown defense, though, is what separated him from most of those high-level strikers, because he was able to defend takedowns early. Jose Aldo Jr. came back after boxing. So he's not retiring like I did, or like Paul does, right? He's doing something competitive, and he's still active in combat, so it's not as difficult.
I mean, it makes it a little easier, but I'm still not sold on him coming back. I mean, we just cried for him. I still got, my tears are still wet.
They still fresh.
They're still fresh, so like, I'm not sold on his comeback so soon, though. But I mean, listen, I'm a hypocrite because I'm going to be in the front row like, go, go, go.
You're going to start singing, you're going to be singing Run This Town. We going to run this town tonight.
Look at these guys. So, Jose Aldo is a lot of things, right? Favorite fighter's favorite fighter, beloved nationally, globally, but he's not the betting favorite this weekend. Dino, that's Jonathan Martinez. Your thoughts on the upstart, the bantamweight contender, who looks like he might be on the cusp of something pretty special?
I mean, when we look at Jonathan Martinez, and I always compare his left leg to a scorpion's tail, he's lethal, man. This kid is lethal. He's good. He's only getting better, and he's young. And there's something to be said about youth, especially at that weight division. I mean, this guy goes out there and he can do it all. I mean, he stopped multiple opponents with leg kicks. When he was kicking Cub Swanson, you could see Cub Swanson's face like, ouch, ouch,
yeah,
ouch. I mean, the man is absolutely treacherous with his kicks. And I think that could be the big deciding factor in this fight. I mean, it's going to be hard to tell, but, you know, Jose Aldo obviously a stud in himself.
All right, here we go, folks. The official weigh in UFC 301 as Steve Erceg hits the scale for his first UFC title fight, and he's right on the number, DC 125.
Yeah, Steve Erceg, the moment he made his debut, I loved him for the way he looked. He was unassuming, but then you start to watch him and you respect the skills. That's what makes this young man special, his length, his ability to strike. We're going to talk about him a lot on the show, so I'm not going to say much, but he is a real live dog.
All right, next man to the scale, Lord Assassin, featherweight Jean Silva, one of several fighters from this Fighting Nerds team. Mauricio Ruffy, Caio Bohalho also competing here Saturday night under coach Pablo Sucupira. Silva's won 9 straight fights coming in. He and his opponent have combined to win their last 20.
Wow.
As we await the number here for Lord Assassin.
Oh boy.
He had a 4-minute
walkout
at the Apex.
I'll never forgive him for that.
Yeah. So we'll see.
146.
146 after some deliberations. So John Silva on the number as he tries to keep the winning ways going here this weekend. But this Fighting Nerds team has really emerged, you know.
And Caio Bohalho, he was the one that told us that, man. When we first saw him on the Contender Series, he said, we've got people coming behind me.
All right, next fighter to the scale here, Dione Barboza.
Dione Barboza, 6-2 on the Brazilian national judo team. I saw her out in front yesterday, and I wanted to talk to her, but I was intimidated because they call her the witch. And the reason why I was intimidated is because she has a win over my favorite fighter in the UFC, Karine Silva. She beat her back in 2019, so I'm afraid of her.
Dione Barboza taking on Ernesta Karatskeita in an early prelim.
Yeah, so I was at Shudo Brazil last night, and I met his old promoter from Centurion MMA. This guy won a 4-man tournament in one night, beat 2 guys in one night, became the champion of that tournament, and then the UFC snatched him up. The promoter was so upset, but he said this kid has something special. The way he judges distance and his timing, he said he's never seen it before. He said this kid is special, and we got to watch out for him.
156 for Mauricio Ruffy, who will fight Jamie Malarkey in the lightweight division. Yeah, blockhead Jamie Malarkey.
I didn't even recognize him with a hat on the other day.
All right, next fighter to the scale, the Peruvian, Kevin Borjas. El Gallo Negro, the Black Rooster, nickname given to him by Claudio Puelles. Fun fighter to watch, as a lot of these smaller guys are, as he makes the number. Tremendous pace, pressure. Fought Joshua Van in his UFC debut last November.
Where?
Hey guys, I'm Jack Tankshaw, fighting out a show in mixed martial arts in Abbotsford, South Wales. Hey DC, when are we going to see you finally make the cut down to 155 to fight Max Holloway for the BMF title?
Max Holloway don't want this smoke. I've been calling him out for years.
145 and a half.
145 and a half for Jack Shore, who looks fantastic at his new weight class. But Jack, to your point, Holloway don't want this. I started my diet. I'm getting close to 145. It shouldn't take long.
Hold on. When did you start your diet? Just right now?
Right now, in my mind.
The takeout bag outside his hotel room door suggests otherwise. All right, now we get a look at Alessandro Costa, another one of these Francisco Grasso-trained athletes who looks like he could really be something. He was born in Manaus, migrated to Mexico at 19. He has never fought here in his native Brazil. And given how competitive he was against Steve Erceg in his last fight, as Costa makes the number there, he's pretty confident that things could happen pretty expeditiously for him in this flyweight division. So a lot of valuable experience accrued against Erceg, who now, of course, is fighting for the title here tomorrow night.
Próximo na balança, next on the scale.
All right, Paulie, next is going to be Muktabek Orolbai. Enjoyed our conversation with this man. Feels like if there wasn't a language barrier, he'd have quite the personality.
Yeah, he had a lot to say, and it was a bit lost in translation, but obviously been training with the guys at Team Alpha Male, and you can tell they saw something in this guy. It looks like he's made of stone, this kid. He's strong as possibly can be. Goes out there, crazy pace, great wrestling, good power in his hands. And I asked him, I said, do you feel like you can rush yourself to the top and start fighting guys in the top 15? And he agreed that he could.
Watch when he turned his head to the side. He got that nice, fresh lineup. Look
He
at
got
that.
a- oh,
he got a nice lineup, bro. He
Oh,
got
my
that
God.
arch on the side. He got. I told him that text in favor. I said, "Well, he got a nice lineup, my favorite."
Yo, so this is one of my favorite guys in the UFC too, Kyle Bahayo. I spoke to him yesterday. He said he wanted to let everybody know that he's never had an easy fight in the UFC, and that was like important for him to let everybody know that that was the case for him. But he's been teaching chemistry and math to his friends
186.
since he was 15 years old.
Yeah, he's
He's
an
absolute nerd for sure.
He's a bit of a renaissance man, that Caio Borralho. Certainly embraced the English language.
Yeah.
By the way, Steve Erceg, UFC flyweight title challenger, going to join us here on the official weigh-in show in about 3 to 4 minutes. Elvis Brenner. What a start to the UFC career it has been for this man. Now, his grandfather was his hero. He passed in 2015, and Elvis, for much of his career, was Elvis Oliveira. So at one point, he had to explain to his teammate, one Charles Du Bronx Oliveira, why he was using that surname. But this kid's for real. 3-0 in the UFC, believes he's ready for top 10 competition right now. Good test for him coming up this weekend against Orolbai, who just weighed in. And it looks as though the next fighter to the scale will be the other half of that featured prelim in the featherweight division, Dino, Joe Anderson Brito.
Man, this guy's got all energy on a pretty good winning streak right now. But he had the weirdest call out. He called out Diego Lopez. And while that's weird to me, it sounds like a good call out, but he's already beaten Diego Lopez. He beat him on the Contender Series in order to get into the UFC. So the fact that he wants to fight him again is a little bit weird to me, but this guy can scrap.
Because Lopez got the juice now.
Yeah, Lopez got
right?
the juice
Lopez
now, yeah.
got the juice. He's like, I beat him before. I want the juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lopez has got a lot of juice right now.
He got the juice now.
All right, next fighter to the scale is going to be the Lithuanian
flyweight division.
Ernesta Karatskaita. Very respectful young woman in our fighter meeting. Former swimmer on the Lithuanian national team. Now, Paulie and I don't love the decision to not swim much anymore. We feel like that could be hugely beneficial for her
125.5
cardiovascular base. But no, I think she swam her whole life. She's sick of being in the water. She's worked dutifully on her wrestling and her ground game. But I don't know, maybe hit the ocean with Paulie later this week.
Yeah, just a couple times, you know? Keep it in there.
She'd leave you in the dust.
I know.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
it'd be terrible.
Bad.
All right, so next up is going to be Ismael Bonfim. Somewhat of a victim of expectation here early on in his UFC career. A lot of people high on this kid.
Yeah,
Dino.
I mean, they've been high on him because, I mean, him and his brother have came into the UFC and they kind of took the world by storm. But this is his second time trying to fight this fight. He didn't make weight the first time, but now he's guaranteed to make it this time, at least from what he says.
156,
But, I mean,
70 quilos e 700 gramas para
But he's an
Ismael
absolute set between him and his
Bonfim.
brother. They call him Maheta, his brother Mahetinha. So yeah, these guys are here to stay.
You take the world by storm, and then like reality strikes at times.
Yeah.
Próximo na
that's what
balança, categoria peso palha, Yasmin Lucindo.
You know, that scared me because my producer said Jonathan Martinez was next, and I saw a bra.
There is a no, but I love watching Lucinda fight. She is fantastic, and what I love mostly about her is she's been training with the
52
queen.
quilos e
She's been
600
training with Amanda
para
Nunes
Yasmin
for this fight, so I can't wait to see what she brings to the table. She got a great grappling skill set, but her hands,
Yeah,
when she
brings
sits
it,
down
man.
on them punches and throws them hands, it's a wrap.
She will face the 13th ranked strawweight former world title challenger Karolina Kowalkiewicz. All right, next athlete to the scale, unranked at present, but that could change here Saturday night. Vitor Petrino.
Yeah, I mean, Vitor Petrino's been on a roll ever since he's entered the UFC. He's had some big finishes, and he's shown that he can go the distance, right? He's a guy that I think we all questioned. He's so explosive, so powerful. If he can't get the knockout, what's going to happen? Well, he's proved that he's got the endurance to keep moving forward, and he may need that on Saturday night, but I think he's going to lay out those hands. We were speaking about the hands with the last woman, but this guy can crack, man. Always in shape, and I love that he's always got somebody on his mind to call out after the fact. He knows how to strategically try to move himself into the right position. That's big in the UFC. We talk about it all the time.
He carries so much muscle, I think we question it, but he's gone to decision twice. He looks like he should get tired.
Yeah.
So even after going to decision, we still question whether he can go 15. And he did.
Hey guys, Paul Craig here, fighting out of Scotland, higher level, and I've got a question for the whole team. Have you ever had haggis? What's your thoughts? And there's nothing quite like a sheep's intestines stuffed with innards.
What does he say? What did he
Have
say?
you had haggis?
What is that?
It's like sheep stomach stuffed with
That's
other
disgusting.
bits and parts of the animal.
185.
And then boiled.
You know, it's 2024. We can eat like
Yeah, you don't have to
real
eat that.
185 Paul Craig, but yeah, nobody's eating haggis, my guy. I saw this guy at the elevator this morning. He's only a kilo over, and he
Yeah.
was just starting, like right as we were leaving.
What language is he speaking?
I have no idea,
I
man.
can't even tell what he's saying.
I have to read his lips in the fighter meeting, so.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Lightweight division.
I've interviewed Paul enough and had you kind of decipher it. Jamie Malarkey, another one that's going to be tough to understand sometimes, but this dude brings the action, man, in these dog fights. Hopefully he can stay at his range, at his distance in this fight, because when he's behind that jab,
155,
when he's getting his strikes going, he's a sniper out there. Very accurate, but he's got that dog in him too. But having come off some big losses like that, he's got to try to dial in, try not to get hit early, get his confidence back in this fight.
Jakar Close, fighting out the MMA lab. Paul Felder, you need a dance partner?
God, how long have I been out of the game and I'm getting called out by Jakar Close? No, I don't. I don't want any dance partner. I don't want any parts of this, man.
I got a good idea, though. Maybe take yourself out of the pool.
70 quilos
and
e
then,
700 gramas.
No.
You always leave the door open without leaving the door open. But we don't want to see you in Jakar fight because he'll clinch you the whole time. I want a fun fight. Jakar Close does know how to win, though.
Próximo na balança, Jonathan Martinez.
All right, here's Jonathan Martinez, biggest fight of his career, beckons Saturday night.
And he loves it. He loves the chance to fight a legend. And this guy has a great style. You know, when Jose Aldo was getting opponents,
136.
136 for Jonathan Martinez. While that might not be the first name, this may be the toughest name that he could have gotten because this guy's style matches up very well against Jose. Tremendous fighter.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Vince from Help a Shell. I'm fighting at Factory X in Denver, Colorado. And I only got one thing to say. Paul Felder, you better have a goddamn mustache.
Well, you are in luck, Vince Michelle, because I do, in fact, have a mustache for this weekend. I don't know if my producer, Zach Candido, is happy that I'm coming in with a mustache, but I got one, fellas. It's still in its baby phase,
It's red,
but it's
too.
coming in.
Yep.
Paulie
Paulie
Red stash.
Red.
It looks
Paulie
like
Red stash.
It looks
156.
just like your eyebrow too. Looks like a,
Paul cut off his eyebrows,
yeah,
stuck it on his lip.
it look like.
Oh, I got nothing on Vince Michelle on that mustache, John.
No, that's a nice mustache.
Remarkable what Vince Pichel has accomplished, but injuries have been a huge part of the narrative across his career. All right,
Yeah,
we
and then
are
on top of
very
that,
thrilled
weaknesses.
to now be joined by a man who is on an absolute tear and Saturday night will challenge Alexandre Pantoja for the undisputed UFC Flyweight Championship. He is Astro Boy, he is Steve Erceg, and he is live in Rio de Janeiro. Steve, congratulations on the opportunity. How'd the weigh-in go, my man?
Yeah, it was obviously tough. Making flyweight's not fun, but championship weight, first time in a while, so it's, yeah, happy it's over.
How would you compare this weight cut and weigh-in to the Matt Schnell fight, which candidly wasn't all that long ago?
It was definitely harder than that. Last night was uncomfortable, but this morning was pretty all right. So harder than that, but not too ridiculous.
Do you think it was easier, though, because you just had the Snell fight not long ago? So to be in shape, get it done, and put this behind you, because a lot of fighters will say this is the fight before the fight.
It definitely wasn't easier coming in already fit and all that sort of stuff as far as the weight goes. I was carrying a little bit extra weight for some reason. So last time I came in like 62.5 walk around. This time I was like 64 walk around. So yeah, don't know.
And now forget about the weight. You're on the eve of the biggest night of your life, Steve Erceg. Has it set in for you that tomorrow night you walk into a full arena and fight for the UFC Flyweight Championship less than a year into your UFC career?
Yeah, it's setting in. Yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on that guy. Yeah, I had enough of him now.
Oh, Pantoja, you said you're a little annoyed with him now, Erceg? Is this a different?
Yeah,
is this the evil Erceg?
I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm in a bad mood with the weight cut, but I feel like I've seen him too much, and yeah, I don't know. It's just got on my nerves a little, I guess.
Ooh, okay.
Steve, you know, being on this card, being here in Rio, and you talked about being on the same card with Jose Aldo. What has the experience been like here in Rio? What is it like to be, you know, on the eve of sharing the octagon with one of the greatest Brazilian fighters of all time, and somebody that you've probably been watching and looked up to over the years?
Honestly, yeah, the whole Rio experience has been amazing. Like, we've done things that I didn't think I'd get to do. Like, the locals have been great, the culture's been great, and yeah, like Tata fight team, they let me come in and train in their gym while I was here. So it's been a great experience so far, and we'll cap it off with a nice victory on Sunday or Saturday night, I guess. And yeah, I've seen Jose Aldo around. That's really cool. Not as cool as seeing DC.
My boy right there.
And Steve, have you put any thought into the fact that, you know, come Sunday, you could be sitting there with a championship belt with the UFC wrapped around your waist, or getting ready to get on a flight to go back home with that? Has that had a chance to sink in, that come Sunday you could be champion of the world in the flyweight division here in the UFC?
Yeah, it's sinking in a little bit. The biggest thing is I need everybody around me to abuse me plenty, because my head's going to be out of control after this one.
Steve, when you first got the call, you know, you had only been in the UFC for a couple months, 15 minutes. Then you got a call to fight for the flyweight championship of the world. What were your initial thoughts?
Initial thoughts were surprise. I didn't think I'd obviously get the call, being number 10 ranked, but obviously there's only really two guys that were in contention for it, me and Mikhaev, and then, yeah, I felt like I had to apologize to Dad, because when he brought it up, I called him an idiot, so there you go. Dad's always right.
All right, now this Brazilian crowd is known to be very raucous. How have you prepared to deal with that type of hostility walking out into this crowd?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of visualization. I mean, I do that anyway. Just think about the fight and walking out, what the crowd's going to be like, what the feel of the camp is going to be like. I try to make it as real as possible in my head, and I'm lucky that I've had people abusing me just in Australia, like my mates and all that sort of stuff during sparring my whole life. So it's not going to be anything different or new for me.
Well, Steve, I know you're excited for the words to give way to the action. I know the media grind has been intense. We're going to get you out of here on this. As I understand it, you did an interview earlier this week with Nina Drama, so I want to play some of that for our audience and get your reaction if we could.
So you're in an alien invasion. I need you to pick 3 UFC fighters you'd want on your team.
John Jones, somebody with a lot of guns, so maybe Sean Strickland. Somebody that will be slower than me, so when I run away, so DC.
You just caught us straight so bad.
This fucking guy.
I mean, he's 40 times okay. A lot of these guys feel like you're low-hanging fruit, man.
I don't know, man. It's because they see me getting taken down and beat up all the time. Now, Steve Erceg, it's over, bro. Our bromance is done. It's over, Erceg. Because you want the aliens to kill me and eat me.
I just wanted to set up the 40-yard dash between me and you.
Erceg,
let's make it happen.
Erceg, listen. If they asked me 3 people on a deserted island, I'd probably pick you, because we would eat you first, Erceg. We need Erceg first.
You'd be hungry quick.
Hey, Steve, have a great day and a better evening. Congratulations on getting to this point in your career, and we wish you all the best Saturday night, brother.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Steve Erceg with us here on the official UFC 301 weigh-in show. I'm being told that Neto BJJ, Joaquim Silva, is making his way to the scale right now.
You know, watching Joaquim Silva for as long as he's been in the UFC, we have seen some ups and some downs. And if I'm being honest, last fight against Clay Guida, he looked pretty good. I remember watching and thinking that
155.5, 70 kilos e 500 grams.
He's always so shredded, too.
He's always so shredded. But I remember feeling in the Guida fight, if he wasn't able to get Clay out of there quickly, he would start to waver and falter and get tired, and he didn't. he looked better. He stayed in the fight, and he was able to get through Guida pretty impressively. So it feels like he's still here and still valuable in his weight class.
And moments ago, while we were interviewing Steve Erceg, Anthony Lionheart-Smith weighed in for his 57th pro fight.
Crazy.
And doesn't really buy into the hype, John. As much as people put into his opponent and they think he's so good, he just doesn't buy it, and he feels that way.
205.5 for the Lionheart.
205.5.
93 quilos e 200 grams.
All right, now live, weighing in, the man around whom this fight card was built, the flyweight king, Alexandre Pantoja.
Here goes my man. I remember helping him cut weight before, and he's got a stone cold attitude and a bulletproof mind. I mean, this guy, they call him a cannibal for a reason.
He doesn't look excited. He's got the old shame net there in front of him. The old shame net right there to walk in.
I like that.
Yeah, that net, boy. They put that old net out there.
He must know something.
The box of shame. Stand up in there.
It's gonna be
praying. Because the reality is, right now, all he's doing is praying for that thing to break a little bit.
125, 56 quilos e 600
It feels good, Paul. Paul, you know when you're up there and you're close, you're like, hey,
especially behind the shame net.
I know. You start praying. You start praying to God, like, just give me one, just a couple ounces, take it off, like, please.
Spitting in a cup in the bag, just
it's bad.
hoping.
There's
praying.
no feeling like that feeling of a weigh-in and not knowing if you're right on. It's the worst thing in the world, man.
With no towels around
which
either.
one's feeling that or having to go back and cut it?
Oh, no. Having to go back and cut it is almost impossible.
Yeah.
Having to go back is almost impossible, especially even if it's
to
like...
get your mind back in that, to get back in the
that
sauna.
sweat going.
And John, we went upstairs at the hotel to the steam room sauna that is there, and it will burn your face off quickly.
Well, here's the problem. If you're at weight, or at least you think you're at weight and you don't, then you're like, you dry off. When you kill that sweat, now you got to work to get it up, because breaking the sweat is all about your heart rate rising.
Yeah.
So now you got to actually work.
I know.
Ooh, that's the worst, boy.
And your heart rate's already jacked at that point.
Hey, that happened at the Olympic Games. I was like 0.2 kilos over. I had to go back.
Oh
right. My goodness.
They don't give you a towel to push down on in that situation.
Why not? Hey, but you know what they do, right? Your partner, if you're lucky, can go behind you and give you the old butt cheek lift. The old butt cheek lift. That's the old wrestler there. The old butt cheek lift.
Yeah. It's crazy you guys practice that outside of the weigh-ins, though.
Hey, I'm going to stand like this, so I'm going to just pop that right cheek out for you.
All right, so the pay-per-view main card begins with Caio Borralho and Paul Craig, two of the top 15 in the middleweight division. And now joining us here on the UFC 301 weigh-in show is Scotland's finest, Paul Bearju Craig. So when DC was in Louisiana growing up, people could not understand this man. Now, I understand everything that he says, but do you find that sometimes, even though you're speaking English, Paulie, that people have a hard time understanding what you're saying?
Yeah, it's definitely a thick accent, and it makes it even harder when you've just cut weight and the vocal cords start to relax and you have this really deep drawl, but it's very hard to understand Scottish folk being Scottish, never mind for the other side of the world.
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
So it's really been exciting for MMA fans to see you in this division and see you realize success. Now, you're the higher ranked guy here, but Caio Borralho, as you said in our fighter meeting, has a lot of steam, promotional momentum. In terms of this division, what do you think a win over Caio Borralho does for you?
Yeah, it blasts me into that top 10. And it's a very stacked division, but at any given night, I believe that MD in the top 15 can beat anybody. And we've seen that with regards to Sean Strickland beating Adesanya, Sean Strickland then using the belt. I believe that the way the division sits at the moment, it's going to change hands, that title. And I believe by getting a victory over Caio, cements me in that top 10, and then I start looking higher up that division to get better fights.
And Paul, you know, we talked to you in the fighter meetings, and both you guys are known for having high-level grappling, right? So a lot of fans, I think, could assume this could end up playing out on the map. When we talked to you, you've really been working on the striking. How has that been going in trying to really keep that distance control and using your kicks, using your hands? How has that been going throughout camp? And what kind of fight are you expecting from Borralho?
I think once he feels the actual power that I've got in my striking, I think it's actually going to force him to shoot in. And we've seen it before, when two grapplers normally meet, or two high-level grapplers, what normally happens is it normally cancels each other out, and they like to stand up and fight. But I genuinely believe the power that I'm producing on my shots is going to deter him from wanting to be in the stand-up pocket with me.
Paul, okay, so
Yes.
the last kilo came off. I was trying to get an answer on whatever it is you just asked us if we ate before. But I don't like mutton, Paul, or whatever that other bullshit you asked me about. What was that, Paul? What was that you asked me about?
Haggis. Haggis.
You gonna eat some of the haggis, Paul, after you, like, once the fight's over, you gonna get some haggis?
Vegetarian haggis, I don't eat meat, but actual normal haggis and vegetarian haggis it's delicious. It's a delicacy. If you ever get a chance to come to Scotland, I advise you to try it. It sounds disgusting, taking the sheep's innards, stuffing it inside itself, then boiling it. It sounds disgusting, but trust me, it's delicious.
It sounds disgusting because it is disgusting, and it only sounds good to you because you're cutting an extreme amount of weight. But Paul, when I saw you this morning and you were getting ready to cut that last kilo, you had a ton of energy, and you spoke to us earlier in the week about all the differences and the things that you've done to ensure that your weight cuts go the right way. Did everything work according to plan? Because you seem to be starting to water, and you barely had any weight to cut.
Yeah, I made the championship weight. I was actually lighter than I expected to be, just because by the time you actually bring your core body temperature down, you still lose a little bit of moisture from the body. So we lost a little bit, but it didn't make a difference because the rehydration process is what is important now. It's about getting the carbs in at the right time to refuel the glycogen stores. Once they're fueled, then it's a case of we're allowed to eat food down.
Hey, Paul, you are a very prolific guard puller in a game where it's kind of frowned upon. Could you just briefly give me some insight as to the confidence you have in pulling guard?
I think it's like the way I first developed my style of jiu-jitsu. We always learn, that sort of, somebody starts on their knees, somebody starts on their back, and it comes from the positions. We drilled them so many times as a white belt up to as a black belt. I just got really good at defending off my back. And then it just seems like a natural progression for me to use my levers. One of the key components of my jiu-jitsu is how my leg strength, leg length, my ability to manipulate fighters with them. So it's about getting them in play as quickly as we possibly can on the ground. So that's why guard pulling seems to work very well for me. But there is times, and I think back to London against Ozdemir, where you pull guard too many times and you look like a little, what's the word I'm looking for, bitch?
Yeah. Hey, Paul, before we let you go, I know about 4 years ago when we sat down with you, you talked about this renewed strength and conditioning commitment when you were still a light heavyweight. Now you have successfully made middleweight 3 times. How do you feel right now compared to, say, the Brendan Allen fight or the Andre Muniz fight?
Yeah, the cup was very, very similar to what it was in London. We went back to back with fight camps going from London straight to Vegas. And it was because we got an opportunity to headline that slot against Allen.
Right.
Ideally, we should have maybe taken another month off just to recover, replenish all our stores, because making middleweight, as you can see, the cheekbones, it does take a little bit out of me. But when opportunities come in this sport, you kind of have to take them. So that was something we learned coming off the Brendan Allen fight. We went back to the drawing boards with regards to refueling and done a reverse cut. So added all that nutrition back into our body, got to a point when we started the fight camp that we're in a positive state, and then now we can make this cut all the way down and get to a point where we can perform and not show up like we did against Brendan Allen. So for the guys that are watching 301 and opening this main event, our main card, they're going to see a much closer version of what I was in London with regards to having that energy, having the ability to think on my feet in situations where it requires it.
Well, that's great to hear. One of the classiest men on the roster, Paul Craig, trying to make a run here in a second division. Wish you all the best, brother. Enjoy it on pay-per-view tomorrow night.
Thank you so much.
There he is, Paul Bear Jew Craig. I think that Bear Jew nickname, the gym secret, is probably going to go to the grave with him, but maybe we'll get it out of him at one point. William Gomez will be competing in a featherweight prelim. He looks like me on the treadmill.
Oh my God,
man! He's struggling.
He's not making the weight because he's not even taking his clothes off.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because he's been on a roll, looking really good.
Yeah.
That is.
Last fight a little weird with the controversy over the
What
the
happened,
front
I
kick
wonder?
up the middle.
What happened? The fact that he's on the scale.
143, 64 quilos
Wait, what's
e
the weight?
800 gramas para William Gomis.
Is he fighting 35?
No.
So it was announced as 143 pounds. He's
He ain't fighting.
featherweight.
He's not gonna.
He's under by 2 pounds in?
What
is
the hell
going
happened
on?
What
there?
is happening?
We will try to get you some clarity on that. But how about Andre Lemos making it happen with the caricature? Do you guys have any artistic ability?
You know what? When I was younger, I was able to look at stuff and draw it, but I could never draw it from my imagination. My daughter now can do that, so I'm glad she got passed on to have better artistic genes.
All right, so I don't have an artistic bone in my body, which is neither here nor there. William Gomis, right? We're going to get some clarity here, but didn't even take his shirt off, and he's three pounds under.
You know why,
the-
John? He went to that sauna upstairs
What
at
happened?
the hotel.
What happened?
But he's struggling up there, like he almost fell off.
Like, if he's that bad, they could have given him 3 waters.
I
Yeah.
know.
He could have had 3 waters.
But if he takes his shirt off, it stands to reason, if that number is accurate, that he's like 41 and 5 pounds under the divisional limit.
Dude, there's
That
no
makes no
way.
sense. We gotta
Something
know what happened there.
Yeah, that is one of the most odd things I've ever seen in a weigh-in.
Maybe he
Perhaps
thought
his
he was
scale?
fighting at 135.
Now, how does he actually recover after that?
From that?
Because
He
generally,
doesn't,
whenever
bro.
we see that, like if you see, remember the girl, she got on the scale and she went back and almost fell down, and everybody was like, oh, pull her out the fight. Then she ultimately got pulled. She did miss the weight, though. I can't remember what I'm talking about, but Stoliarenko, right? That dude was in such bad shape. But how do you think about if they're going to say, oh, he's in such bad shape? He's underweight by 4 pounds almost.
Yeah, of course.
So he made the
of course
weight.
you're going to look like that.
Of
If you're a
course.
45 and you're that many pounds under 40, you're going to look like trash. You're going to look like trash.
I wonder what happened.
Did he not have a scale as he was cutting weight?
Well, maybe he did, and it was wrong, and you didn't calibrate it correctly because there's no reason you'd be that under
for someone to
and
look
not
like
coming
that,
in early.
For someone to look like that, we said, well, it's unfortunate because he was on a run,
Yeah, we thought he was gonna
thinking
be
he was
done.
missing weight.
Yeah. There are countless examples,
that don't
though.
make no sense.
Countless examples in UFC history of a fighter thinking they're good on a check scale, and then Charles Oliveira in Arizona walks out and he's a few ounces over, right? But this is a bizarre situation to have him come in potentially 4 or 5
It
pounds
just
even
happened
below.
in AC, too.
Yeah.
That might be worst case scenario. Like, I would probably rather be over and still have to
Yes,
fight.
to have to go
than
cut
under.
the weight
Yeah.
than to be that light and have to figure out how I get back to an operational weight by tomorrow night to where I don't look
What
like
was
they're
his
carrying.
weight officially?
143.
With
And
the
that's
shirt on, a wet shirt on.
That's
Yeah.
a
With
lot. to
clothes
get-
on. Like John
now-
said, if you take
so
his
now
clothes off,
it's
he's not a
3
problem.
pounds to get back to where he should have been weighing in.
All right, so we have
3
had a
pounds
lot
to
of
put on.
fighters as we spin things forward here. Back to William Gomis later on. Brock Lesnar, right? Israel Adesanya, Conor McGregor, Alex Pereira most recently. Fighters who come into the UFC and within a year or less, they become a UFC champion. Steve Erceg made his UFC debut in June of 2023. He fights for the World Championship here on Saturday night. But who exactly is Astro Boy Steve Erceg? Take a listen.
They say looks can be deceiving. Well, to look at him can be deceiving. An off-drowsy expression that at times hints at mild bemusement, Steve Erceg doesn't look the part of UFC contender. Yet when he made his debut at UFC 289 last year against ranked veteran David Dvorak, it was clear the quiet poise was in fact a weapon. That lying in wait was a time bomb ready to go off. The reigning eternal flyweight champion in Western Australia, with his footwork, pressure, and unnerving composure, was a highly skilled killer of the deadliest sort. Sometimes it's the ones you don't see coming. With Australian MMA at a fever pitch, perhaps it would be Alexander Volkanovski regaining his title as the nation's next champion. How about the national icon Robert Whittaker breaking through once again, or maybe the surging Jack Della Maddalena? Few saw the kid from the distant western shores of Perth as the next Aussie champion, and even fewer knew the depths contained within his wiry 5'8" frame. So who is Steve Erceg, the man affectionately known as Astro Boy? The 11-fight win streak doesn't tell the whole story, nor does the wow factor he brings to his fights. He's already won 2 Performance of the Night bonuses, and while there's an omnipresent charm to the friendly grocery clerk appearance that has earned him MMA cult status, that's not entirely it either. It's that rumbling competitive hunger out of a man who has yet to show his full hand, who's only provided glimpses of who he is and the dog contained within. The man who travels far and wide to train, to Singapore, across the continent of Australia. The man who trekked 48 hours to get to Vegas for his fight with Matt Schnell to showcase his power. Oh, that's it. That'll do it, the walk-off KO. Astro Boy Steve Erceg with a major statement at the Apex this afternoon. He's talked about the relationship with his father, who initially told him he wasn't tough enough to be a fighter.
I was very adamant that I was tough enough to fight, so he said, all right, what we'll do, we'll go in the backyard, we'll have a fight, and we'll see what happens from there.
I went a little harder than I usually would, and I could just honestly say that he didn't flinch, he didn't back off, and I thought I had to let him fight, and then I had to deal with his mother.
Well, no shortage of toughness in this Astro Boy now. He promptly called his shot against former champion Brandon Moreno after just his 3rd UFC fight.
Brandon Moreno, let's make it happen, man.
Or how about the way he handled himself against Alessandro Costa at Madison Square Garden, some 11,000 miles from home?
Erceg is just a dog.
These are the glimpses Steve Erceg has provided us ahead of his UFC 301 flyweight title bout with Alexandre Pantoja. And now, the kid who dreamt of being in the UFC after watching Frank Mir fight Brock Lesnar at UFC 100 and imagined himself among the legends, is now off to Brazil to try to become one.
I got 5.
Well, we'll see how it goes for Steve Erceg against Alexandre Pantoja here on Saturday night. And thematically, there are a lot of things that come up when you think about a guy like Steve Erceg. So how about unassuming badasses, right? We got a lot of fighters on this roster that look the part. Cauliflower ear, chiseled physique. But we also have a ton of these guys that if you walk by them on the street, I feel like I could kick their fucking ass, and Steve Erceg's one of them. So, DC, your top 5 unassuming badasses in the UFC.
Okay, so when I got the email from our producer, he said 3.
Here we go.
Oh, man.
So
Here come the
serious.
excuses.
The dude gave me 3 for some reason. So for me, number 3, Jim Miller. Jim Miller looks like a guy that is just someone's dad. He wears flannel shirts and he just hangs out. I love Jim Miller, but it's like you kind of look like him and I are like sitting down getting coffee every morning in Gilroy, California. Like it just is what it is. Wonder Boy. Look at Stephen Thompson. Looks like a dork. It's like the guy's tall and skinny, and but he's nice. He's always smiling, right? And number 1 is Erceg, the Astro Boy. The guy doesn't look like a guy that's gonna tear you apart. But number 4 for me was Roy Nelson, and number 5 is probably me, right?
Yeah. Hey.
I was the world champ. Look at me.
Yeah, we all got the same email, but
That is true. We all got the same.
Paulie
email.
came up with 5. Who are your unassuming badasses in the UFC, brother?
In no particular order, Brandon Moreno is one that pops off to me, who is just, again, you would never assume that guy is a fighter in a million years. Corey Sandhagen is another guy. Speaking about hanging out in a coffee shop, he looks like he owns the coffee shop and rides a fixed gear bike on the weekends. Jonathan Martinez.
This one you're wrong.
Jonathan Martinez?
Jonathan Martinez looks like the craziest psychopath killer you've ever met in your life.
No.
Have you talked to? Have you seen
Yes,
Jonathan
he
Martinez?
doesn't talk. So
Bro, he looks like a fighter.
It might, you might think he's going to show up at your house and murder you in your sleep, but you're not going to assume he's going to beat you in an octagon. Yeah, that's a different story. Steve Erceg, I agree wholeheartedly with you there, and Rose Namajunas, especially pre-haircut Rose Namajunas. With the long, I mean, you would never assume that she's a badass, and she is definitely a badass.
All right, they're letting me participate in this one.
Wow.
My producer's saying D next, but it looks like I got the 3 slot here, Kerry Hubert. So, again, just like Paulie, in no particular order here, I think Josh Emmett's pretty unassuming, nice smile, not a guy that necessarily...
But he looks like he was in prison.
I know he does.
We're going to end up roasting so many guys accidentally on this right now.
The MMA Lab's Mario Bautista, certainly an unassuming guy and an absolute killer in that division. Nathaniel Wood was another guy that came to mind. Jack Shore, too, who is competing on this card. But Steve Erceg, like every time I see him, I'm like, I think I might be able to beat him up, but obviously that's not the case. And then Jonathan Martinez, we got to agree to disagree.
I don't understand how you guys don't think that dude looks like a fighter.
Yeah, I think he does. He just seems unassuming to me. There's some cauliflower ear, but yeah, Jonathan Martinez, one of the first names that came to mind.
Everybody on his list is a fighter to me. But I got a list, and I went old school with some of mine. Well, first I got Ryan Hall.
Oh my God!
How'd y'all forget about Ryan Hall?
Yes.
I mean, he's got Tourette syndrome. There's nothing fighter about him. And then I got Joe Lauzon. I mean, just an absolute nerd, you know what I'm saying, fixing computers. Like, so Joe Lauzon. Then Kenny Florian.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had to put him on the list because he beat me. And he looked like an absolute nerd, and I underestimated him. So I had to put him on the list. And then I got to go Alexa Grasso.
Why doesn't Alexa look like a fighter? Because she's beautiful?
Yeah. I mean,
She is pretty, huh?
she's pretty.
Yeah.
She's a
Soft,
pretty
pretty
girl.
girl.
She's very soft and like she
Yeah.
just. So I didn't. So she just kind of comes off to me as like, you know, very. You know, so I didn't think she was a fighter. And then I went with one DC head, and that's Wonder Boy. I mean, he's the type that like walks in and out of his karate school and goes celebrate life.
Yeah. Trip his ass.
Too martial artsy. Yeah. All right, star of the show, Randall Clifford. RJ, who do you have?
Randall.
Only person on planet Earth that calls me by my Christian name. Jonathan Anik calls me Randall. Only one. A couple similar ones with you, Dean. Number 5, Joel Ozon. Just builds computers from scratch and looks like it. Duho Choi. With that the puffy hair, you know, like the step cut that's kind of puffy, you know. Brandon Moreno, if he wasn't covered in tattoos, he'd be number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, Chase Hooper, because he looks like he's
man.
12.
Hooper,
and then Ryan Hall.
Him?
Ryan Hall just looks
How do we miss
the most
Chase
unassuming guy. And he's the one that's going to put you in the hospital more than anybody because he'll put you in a wheelchair. Rip your legs off. I'd rather get knocked out than have my ACLs taken away.
The exercise does show you, though, just how many aesthetically unassuming fighters there are on this roster who will just destroy everything you've worked for. You know.
Good job, Randall.
Thank you.
Danielson.
Yeah, I thought so too. I want to choke you so bad with your gi on.
A little clock choke,
Right?
Vitor Ribeiro against Ken Flo. Got him with the clock choke. Sorry, Ken Flo.
Look at Erceg. That's that shirt I'm telling you about. It was the first thing I thought. I sent it in our group message. I go, look at Erceg's shirt. He didn't get the memo that, yo, you're fighting for the UFC title, man. You got to dress like buy an expensive shirt.
Right.
He said, nah, man, I'm going to just show up and I'm going to put it on this dude. I like that.
You're not playing golf
shirt is all too big. The collar look like a potato chip.
If he becomes champion, we got to do like a makeover champions edition, right?
Oh,
the haircut,
dress him up, bring him to Pantoja
some Versace
style.
suits or something.
You saw Pantoja got the shirt on, like
got the chain.
No. We gotta bring him the Usman style.
Oh, no.
Wow.
You can't live like Usman. You
He
got to
come
be
in
rich to dress
riding on
like
an
Usman.
elephant. Come in riding on an elephant.
All right, so when the UFC announced in mid-March that Steve Erceg and not Mohamed Mokaev would fight Alexandre Pantoja for the title, some of the fan base was a little bit surprised. This is not the first time, Dean, that we have seen maybe a somewhat unexpected title shot be granted to a contender. So the exercise here, I want to know top 3 most unexpected title shots, championship fights that you did not see coming, and we'll start with you.
I'm going first, Sean Strickland and Izzy. Like, never in a million years did I think that Sean Strickland could fight for a title, much less beat the champion Izzy in that fight. So that's my first one. The next, Glover Teixeira and Jamal Hill. To me, I thought Jamal Hill, with the time, like, he was so green, so fresh, for him to get a title shot and then win. I mean, that's, you know, the icing on the cake. And then lastly, Khabib and Al Iaquinta. I mean, that wasn't even supposed to be a thing, and he just kind of got gifted that
was
title
a thing
shot.
from a thing that wasn't supposed to be a thing because Tony Ferguson tripped on a thing.
That was my number 1.
Yeah, okay, that was a good one. So for me, Iaquinta. Remember? Khabib couldn't even say his name. It's real gangster Iaquinta. It went from Tony Ferguson fighting Khabib to Max Holloway not being able to make weight to fight Khabib to Al Iaquinta getting the title fight. So that's mine. So Iaquinta's a real original gangster, like Khabib said. Strickland and Izzy, like you said, Dean, and then Erceg. Because it just doesn't make sense. You know, like Sean Strickland, everybody was mad that he got that title fight, saying that it was only because they had no one else and they didn't give him time to prepare, so he was just fed to Izzy. He wins. Now you got Erceg in apparently like the same situation, right? No one else is available. Let's give this kid a chance. Now we have to see how it plays out. But if anyone took advantage of it, it was Sean Strickland doing it the way he did down in Australia.
All your guys' list, the challengers are coming off wins. My list, not so. Number 3, Nick Diaz, George St. Pierre. He loses a number 1 contender fight, still gets the best fighter on earth. Same thing with number 2, Chael Sonnen John Jones. Loses down a weight class and then goes up a weight class and fights the best fighter on earth in John Jones. And then number 1 was just circumstance. Joe Soto, TJ Dillashaw.
I forgot about that.
Was
the day before,
Yeah, I remember that.
One day notice.
And then it was a pretty awesome fight.
Well, he fought good early.
Yeah. And then he gassed.
Yeah, and it's like, oh wait, 5 rounds, not 3.
Yeah, it's going to show.
That was a shot. That was wild.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was wild time.
It's a great list.
It's a good.
I like your list.
It's a good
I like
list.
your list.
It's a good pay-per-view card too, Paulie. Go ahead. Who do you have?
I have number 3, Erceg, fighting this weekend against Pantoja. I mean, I think that one needs to be noted. BJ Penn fighting GSP after reigning a lightweight, but hadn't fought at welterweight in like forever, moving up and taking that fight. And Chael Sonnen taking on John Jones out of absolutely nowhere, I thought was my number 1.
Yeah.
If Herb Dean had his eyes on John Jones's foot in that Chael
fight, would have been over. He would have been the
champion. Chael would have been champion of the world.
Yeah. And if they would have just let his tap go past, and when he fought Silva, he'd have been the champ too. But
he was 2 weight classes. This close.
Found his way
Well,
into the
in
Hall
his
of
mind,
Fame.
he's a double champ.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, so UFC 301 official weigh-in continues
a beer?
over at the host hotel. Anthony Lionheart Smith has successfully made weight.
Anthony Smith.
As we show you some of those visuals, and then we'll get to Ukraine's Ihor
With the light
Potieria.
heavyweight division.
We were
Categoria dos
talking
meio
about this
pesados.
before, about how he doesn't buy into the hype, but he just said that it's because while doing this job with no bias,
205.5 for the
205.5.
Lionheart.
He was able to
93
watch
quilos e 200
him
gramas.
fight with no judgment, and he said, I just did not see the skills as high as they should be when I'm trying to build them.
All right, no issue on the scale for the former world title challenger, Anthony Lionheart Smith. Now we say hello to Ihor Potieria. Looks different than the last time we saw him. He's got a mullet going.
Yeah, he's got the long hair. Yeah, Potieria is a guy that he really did make himself public enemy number 1 to the Brazilians after doing what he did to Shogun when he won against Shogun. But how could you not be 185 Potieria? How could you not be excited, right? But now he's got all the Brazilians gunning for him, and he's going to have to stand on his shield this weekend.
All right, now joining us here on the official UFC 301 weigh-in show, one of the most respected fighters on this roster, top to bottom, taking part in his 57th professional MMA fight this Saturday night. Anthony Lionheart Smith, still the number 10 ranked contender in his division. How are we feeling this morning, brother?
We're feeling good today, John. How you guys doing?
We're doing well, man. Congratulations on getting that fight before the fight out of the way. You have fought everybody. You have beaten world-class fighters throughout your career. How does this guy, Vitor Petrino, stack up?
Man, I think he's good. I really do think he's good. I think he's well-rounded. I don't think he's super special anywhere, but I think he's green. He's 11. He's only 11 fights into his career. I suspect he'll have a long career here in the UFC. It's just going to hit a road bump on Saturday night.
So how much of your fighting future is going to be rooted in this result? Unlike a lot of guys on this roster, your next career is seemingly all laid out on television. I know you're trying to not have this obsession with the belt, but how much of the next year or so of your life is going to be determined by how you perform Saturday night?
Yeah, I think a lot of it, John, if we're just being honest here. I don't think it's really about wins and losses or really the result of the fight. I think it's the performance. I think if I win and look like shit, I think we're going to have a bunch of tough conversations. If I get smoked, I think that's a tougher conversation. So I think everything moving forward is performance-based and how I'm performing in the gym.
Anthony, we know that you sort of took this fight because...
Dean, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing my gi, man. You know what I'm saying? We in Brazil. I gotta
I'm about to come down there right now and start grabbing that collar.
Hey, pull up.
Hey, you see what happened? You come mess with Dean. He's gonna jump you up here.
Yeah, this is a dangerous room today. But you were insulted by Vitor Petrino, him calling you out. And I talked to Mark Montoya, and he said that you fight better when you feel insulted. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to that. And to be clear, I don't think that Vitor Petrino was trying to be offensive. He's been pretty respectful. I just seen him in the back. He was a super nice guy, but I think a backhanded compliment is still backhanded in my opinion. Like he sees a wounded, broken, finished fighter, and that's just not the case. So I'm a little bit offended by that like he's looking at me like an easy meal ticket to beat a big name. I don't think that's how he meant it when he said it. I think he just wants a big name that he thinks is an easy fight.
Is there any area that you feel like you have to stay away from in fighting Vitor Petrino?
Man, it's really his lead hand. He's really lead hand heavy. He's got a really nasty lead hook. I think if we just deal with that, we counter it, we slip it, we stay outside of it, and occupy it, keep it busy, I think we'll be fine. But he doesn't really throw his right hand until his left hand gets busy.
Anthony, at this point in the game, with as many fights as you've had, you still talk to us as an evolving fighter, as somebody who's trying to work on things. You talked about working the jab and kind of making that sharper and keeping it up high. What motivates you to do that? What are some of the things that get you through training camps and staying sharp and trying to learn at this stage in your career?
Paul, it sounds so stupid, but like, and maybe it sounds super simple, but like, I just feel like I can still win the title. So if I want to do that, I still have to continue to evolve and continue to get better. And I hate losing way more than I like winning. And if those are the things that Mark Montoya identifies that I have to fix, and then if he says this is going to help you not lose, that's all I need to hear. And I'll just keep continuing to fix the little things.
And you talked about how you really had to work on making it just one fight at a time, one thing at a time, and not overthinking about that title shot. Can you just kind of inform the people that are watching on how that mental process has gone for you of trying to just really make things even simpler and not trying to look past the fight that you have in front of you?
Yeah, so I just had to, I think we figured out that I have to let the title obsession go. And if I don't let it go, it'll just guarantee that I'll never get it. So we decided just to take one fight at a time and we reevaluate. So I go in, I win, we'll come back, we'll see where I need to fix my holes or what I messed up, and then we'll continue to fix that, and we'll wait till they call again, and then we'll reevaluate the conversation. So it's been really freeing kind of in the gym and just in life and in the conversations I have, because I'm just not worried about the title. Like, no conversations go past tomorrow night. So it's not who am I going to fight next, or what happens if I lose, or what happens if this guy beats that guy and Pereira takes a fight with this guy. And like it's just this pool of information in my head that makes no sense and it's pointless to worry about. So just trying to just take Glover Teixeira's advice and take one fight at a time, and hopefully we can stack up enough one at a times and find ourselves in a good spot at some point.
You know, you told John earlier that hard conversations may come if it doesn't go the way you want or you get smoked this weekend. With that being said, Anthony, and knowing that you have this other career on the outside of fighting, have you been able to take and live in those training camps and appreciate that you get to still do this thing 50-something fights into your career?
Yeah, DC, it's been a lot of fun this week. You know, my jiu-jitsu coach, Scotty, he's not like a real sentimental type of person. He's not like a picture-taking guy. Like, he's kind of just a big silverback gorilla that just hangs out in the back. But I keep catching him like taking pictures and videos, and like he's super happy, and like we're all just really understanding that like every single one could be the last one. So let's just pour our hearts into this thing and train our butts off, get as good as we possibly can, and we'll go in there. And honestly, the result doesn't really matter. Like, of course I want to win. Of course I want to continue to push the limits. But like, it's a freeing feeling knowing that like I can just go in and just empty the tank, and whatever happens, happens. And some of this is kind of down to fate. So it's been a lot of fun, to be honest with you. We're kind of just enjoying the moment. I don't know, we just sit and talk, and we're looking out the window. It's the beach, and they're all eating good food, and the whole thing has been a lot of fun. So I almost feel like we're in a much better mindset for success when we just kind of drop all the pressure and all the expectations.
It's just crazy to think about your career, and your UFC career began on the equator in Fortaleza, June 8th, 2013. Then you win 7 of 8 outside the UFC to work your way back. You fight for the title, and still going strong, coming up on 60 pro fights. A lot of love for you in this room, brother. Sleep well, and we'll see you live on pay-per-view tomorrow.
I appreciate you guys.
All right, there he is, Anthony Lionheart-Smith, with us here on the official UFC 301 weigh-in show. It's a pretty good caricature artist right there.
Yeah, it's starting to look good.
Yeah, it is. You see Paulie there, lower left.
I thought he was just going to be a stick figure. with sunglasses.
Hey, he got that concave ass.
His ass go like this.
Ass go inside.
Andre Lemos with us drawing today. Might have to get him to draw one of our children before we get on out of here. All right, so the art of the call-out, right? So we sat down with Michel Pereira yesterday. This guy's won 7 fights in a row, but more often than not, when he calls somebody out, he does not get that fight. Now, Vitor Petrino was fighting at the UFC Apex, and as he's walking to the octagon, who does he see but Anthony fucking Smith? So he decides on his way to the octagon that that's the guy that he's going to call out if he wins the fight. And Dino worked out for him. He draws the number 10 guy in the world who's got a name and a ranking that he doesn't have.
Well, see, that's not so bad because normally, like, when you're pontificating on who you want to call out, like, you see, I had to use that big word there. Like, and you're thinking about it for months, then you go, all right. But if he just saw him walking out, it makes a lot of sense. But you have to call somebody out because if you don't call somebody out, you're going to end up fighting the person that you don't want to fight. So you want to make a call out so that you get an opportunity to call your own shot.
You honestly, like, certain people take it to the point that I honestly would kind of practice it. Like, I would at least have an idea of what I wanted. And then you start having these memorable things happen that never go away. And then you get what you want, right? You start to, even at the first time you say it. And that's where I think Michel's having a problem. He said something, it hasn't happened for him, but now you're just planting the seed. Go back to it. Maybe it happens the second time. That's what you always do. That's what I did, right? I made my UFC 205 debut and called out John Jones. The only reason they said, keep him on a short list, we know he wants it. I kept planting the seed every single time, then eventually you get it. And that's what you have to do with the call-out. It has to matter. Petrino did the right thing. I wish there was a little more to it than him, I saw him there, so I'm going to call him out. I like that Anthony makes it, well, you think I'm easy. I like that he's putting it where it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
I think you got to have
It's
a
so
little bit of
crazy,
that
though,
too.
because it's not.
It's not.
But as a fighter, you immediately hear your name, and you have to create your own story behind why you might even take that fight. And for Anthony, it was the disrespect. It was all that. But I can speak to the other side of that, and for the fighters who often sometimes miss the chance of calling somebody out or rehearsing it ahead of time. For me, I was always so paranoid. If I'm thinking about what I'm going to say afterwards, I am not focused on that mother effer that I'm facing on Saturday night.
I don't think, Paul. I mean, you got to live in the moment. But you're. I mean, I think in this game, you got to be thinking step 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
You have to.
Right.
It's almost like building a star. It's like WWE. Like WWE builds stars, right? You got to almost be like, what can I do to progress myself forward? And I know I'm gonna fight because once you're in there, Paul, you're not thinking about what you're gonna say after. There's moments. We have minutes. After a fight. Before they stick that microphone in your face. And then you go, okay, I remember I need to go down this path. Maybe not verbatim, but I know the idea of what I want to say.
But you kind of want to do that because, like, it's almost manifesting the win. Like, if you already have the person out that you want to fight after you win, you kind of manifest it.
Also,
well, that's just, there's two different views on that, though. That's not necessarily true. You can also overlook things, and you can also think about, if I'm going to manifest this win, you can shoot yourself in your foot. I'm a superstitious mother effer, so for me, it was thinking that I'm going to jinx myself.
You also never have a bigger platform.
Well, and that's the rub, right? So I called my first fights for the UFC January 20th, 2012, and before I went in to do my first post-fight interview, UFC Hall of Famer Joe Silva said to me, hey, don't be afraid to ask them who they want next and do my job for them, right? With that audience, you build the foundation for the fight. But thankfully, Neil Magny has thick skin because, man, everybody calls him out, and a lot of these guys think guys think he is the most beatable guy in that top 15. And as Mike Malott and a lot of these guys can attest, he ain't that.
No, he's not. But like, I think that the call out is so important. And Jay and I do on our show, we do art of the call out because people just fumble it time and time again. But dude.
Because you can't go too far.
But imagine if George St. Pierre wouldn't have said, I am not impressed with your performance. That happened so long ago, the video even looks grainy. But we'll never forget it. We'll never forget that as a call-out. It doesn't have to be good.
The most important one, Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor.
Bro,
Nate Diaz would not be Nate Diaz today if he didn't call out
his
Conor
whole
McGregor.
life would be different if he just didn't start cussing and be mad that Conor McGregor had done everything he wanted that he chased for so long. I think I get it, Paul. I get living in the moment. And I have superstitions, too. But I think because, dude,
I think
you don't get to go on Joe Rogan.
You don't
get to go on Joe Rogan So, but you're in there with him.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, and I think for Paulie at times, and we need to move on, but, maybe trying to manifest fights against Justin Gaethje or Dustin Poirier, some of those guys ranked above you, but I don't recall you ever being in an octagon going on the offensive, right? Now, the other end of the spectrum is Ian Machado Gary, who has methodically
chased down Kobe.
And everybody, though, but just having the right guy to call out at the right time. I know he did call out Neil Magny, right? But calling out the right guy, the realistic fight. And now he's on the cusp of a potential title fight if he beats Colby Covington.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I would probably, if I had to call somebody out again, I'd call your ass out, John. I'm calling out John Adams. What John Adams?
Yeah, that's an easy
win.
win.
Walk up here right now,
That's
John.
an easy win. All right, Michel Pereira has won 7 successive fights across 2 divisions. He is weighing in right now as he tries to make it 8 consecutive wins. I don't think this dude likes me very much in that fighter meeting. He was a little ornery yesterday.
You know what the thing is, like when we talk about this game being built on moments, I don't think that anybody has the potential to have moments like this guy. This guy can do them in the octagon, outside the octagon. He is fantastic to watch.
Yeah, but no disrespect to Ihor, but like after winning all these fights in that division, should this dude not be fighting a bigger name? Like, no disrespect.
No.
It's like, dude, he's got to be getting somebody at this point.
This has got to be punishment for the Shogun.
What did he do?
No.
Shogun. This Ihor's got to be punished for Shogun.
Ihor Potieria had a fight in like Saudi Arabia. He's replacing Mahmoud Muradov here.
Okay. Yes, but like, come on, man. Like he should be getting big names.
So this was one of the first things we asked Michel Pereira. Now, a lot of people, when they're asked about Michel Pereira, the first thing that comes to mind is him weighing in at 174 pounds to fight Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, one of the call-out fights that he actually got, and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson rejecting that fight. But Michel Pereira, the first thing we talked to him about was the matchmaking, right? Because, dude, if this guy wins an 8th straight fight, it's got to be somebody in the top 12 at 185 pounds. All right. Get your whiteboards ready.
Let's do this.
We have some Brazilian trivia. Oh, outstanding. I do have some voiceovers to do later, but that's okay.
Brahma.
Well, this is a light beer, I imagine.
Oh, Brahma beer. Shout out to the Brahma Bull, Alan Joban.
Brought me some Kool-Aid, but I'm just saying.
So Paulie is right next to me. He has been looking over my shoulder at these answers for the better part of a quarter of an hour.
Oh my gosh.
All right, first question. What is the capital of this great nation of Brazil? Is it Rio de Janeiro? Is it Sao Paulo? Is it neither of those cities?
Probably gonna spell it wrong.
Yeah, me too. Ready?
All right. Let me see, Paulie. Brasilia is the correct answer. Circle gets the square. Dean Thomas and Paul Felder out of the shoe.
Pablo.
I fought there.
All right. Last time UFC was in Rio, January of 2023. But who headlined the UFC's last live event in Brazil? Which 2 athletes headlined the last UFC event in Brazil? Not Jamal Hill and Glover Teixeira. It was a fight night in November. 5, 4.
I mean, I don't think any of us have that.
3, 2. I don't remember either. It was November 18th. Hoist Gracie did not headline.
Oh, yeah, no, dude.
It was actually former Daniel Cormier victim Derek Lewis against Jailton Almeida.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that Tampa fight.
I was there.
And Dean Thomas actually worked that show.
Yeah.
All right. What is the largest city in Brazil? Largest city in Brazil. It is not Jaraguá do Sul. Is it Rio de Janeiro? Feels pretty big here. 5, 4, 3, 2. Turn your boards around.
Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo. Or as they say here, São Paulo.
Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo is the largest city in Brazil. Nice job, fellas. All right. Dean Thomas will get this one. This is really for the other 2 of you. Who was the first Brazilian UFC champion? Went down in 2002. UFC 35. Would you like any more hints?
Yes, one more hint. No. One more hint.
Oh, you said the first Brazilian UFC champion?
First Brazilian UFC champion. 5, 4, 3.
How is this not
2.
No, that was actually
1. Now, Hoist Gracie won a tournament, right?
Ah!
Hold on, wait.
No, right? It's not.
Yeah.
Murillo.
Bustamante.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, but sorry, Dean didn't get it. Dean, you got it wrong. Dean got it wrong.
No.
He got it wrong.
I mean,
Yeah, no,
technically, Hoyce Gracie should be right? Because he was a UFC champion.
Yeah,
But I put that too.
Official record keeper says you're all wrong.
But
All right.
Murillo was the correct answer.
What is the most famous Brazilian river other than the sweat puddle underneath Paul Felder's treadmill?
Oh my God. I don't know Brazil. I don't know Brazil.
I can't. I'm on camera. I can't.
I mean, it's a river.
You know, how many days a week do you get packages delivered to your house?
Oh.
Dean gets it.
I thought it was the Amazon, but I was like, come on, that's too easy. It's too easy.
Yeah. So,
am I really that smart?
Oftentimes when this weigh-in show ends, DC has this belt wrapped around him, but this
it.
trivia's not going exceedingly well for the champ. Stars and stripes. All right, when was the last year Brazil won the World Cup?
Oh,
you know, not unlike the New York Yankees in baseball, not a lot of recent success for Brazil when it comes to winning the World Cup. When did they last win it all? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What do you got, Paulie? 1990? Nope. 2022, 2012. 2012 is not a bad answer, but 2002.
Oh,
Brazil won the World Cup.
I thought it was 12. I thought it was 12.
I bet on them every year.
They've had great teams. They've had great teams.
They just can't keep it together.
All right, which Brazilian fighter has the most wins in UFC history? 2 acceptable answers here.
Oh, you guys.
22 wins for these 2 Brazilian fighters. 5, 4, 3, 2. Charles Oliveira is correct. Charles do Bronx Oliveira works. Anderson Silva, no. Damian Maia also.
Okay, here I go. I'm back.
Top 5 all-time. Damian Maia,
back.
22 UFC wins as well. All right, there have been 3 Brazilian heavyweight champions. We just need you to name them. 3 Brazilian heavyweight champions. I can give you one of them if you like.
Yep, tell me.
Junior Dos Santos. We need the other 2. 3 Brazilian heavyweight champions, and we'll need those answers, gentlemen, in 10.
Who was the first one you just
9.
said?
JDS. 8. 7.
I don't know.
We'll go down to 5.
There hasn't been 3.
4.
No.
3. 2. Vai Cavallo. No. Go Horse.
Oh, man.
Pedro Rizzo, Junior Dos Santos. I see Fabricio Verdum and
Big Nog.
I literally
Verdum,
said Pedro Rizzo
JDS,
earlier.
and Big Nog.
And a bonus point because Pedro Rizzo was a champ.
Yeah.
Why would you? I mean, I'm smarter than the producer, Zach. I got your ass. You're supposed to be the smartest man. You're supposed to be the smartest man in the business, Zach.
Hey, can I tell
you.
a quick story? Once
Yeah.
I was supposed to call fights in Brazil with Brian Stan, and everybody, including my boss Craig Borsari, pulled a prank on me, and they told me that Stan couldn't make it and that I was going to be calling fights with Pedro Rizzo, who barely spoke English. They had me freaking out like 2 years into my UFC career. All right, which Brazilian fighter holds the record for most total fight time in UFC history? Who has been in there the most of the Brazilian fighters? He's fought nearly 9 hours.
Fight time.
Zach, I'm not giving them that hint. Did you give them that hint?
Yeah, you did. Still active. Wow.
Still active Brazilian fighter. He's got the record for the most total fight time in UFC history. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Give me some.
Rafael Dos Anjos is the correct answer. Charles, not a bad answer.
Oh my God, RDA. The ball tried to cheat, man. You're a dirtbag.
I fought the dude and I didn't know that.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
All right, final question, if indeed we do not need the tiebreaker. What Brazilian
Not even try.
got into the UFC Hall of Fame in 2023? And if you don't get that question, I'm not really sure what to tell you.
I'll get that one.
I mean,
he fucking got it, man.
Yeah.
This dude is smart,
All
man.
right.
I tell you.
Jose Aldo.
Jesus.
And that means we don't need our tiebreaker. Dean
God
Thomas,
dang it.
circle gets the square. You win our trivia game. Would you like to make a statement to the MMA masses?
Well, I just want to say, listen.
Oh, you gonna get
Yay,
your belt,
Galera! I am from Brazil! Galera! Hey!
This boy right here, man. He's something else.
The champ!
This boy right here is something else, man. I
really.
hate losing the belt. Boy, I like losing to you. You something else, dude.
Yeah, all right. So,
Right.
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 Do we get to spin the wheel? Paul
Well,
Felder.
Jose Aldo, the king of Rio, is going to weigh in, but Paulie, we're going to have you spin the wheel here, and
After Aldo weighs in?
I'm kind of
go right
hoping
now,
that
Paul.
you get the shocker, but I think the MMA fans around the world would love to see you
Ooh,
chug a
the
beer.
shocker, eh?
Yeah. Get your head out of the gutter. I'm talking about this electrical device. The suspense. Oh, he's
Chug a
chugging.
beer!
Outstanding.
Chug a beer!
All
He
right.
wants to give a
No,
fresh-
no, we need
Get
a
him a
fresh
freshie.
beer.
All right, freshie.
I mean,
him a freshie.
this man can open up his throat. The best beer,
Hey! Shocker.
the best,
I'm opening up my
the
throat.
best beer chugger in the UFC is Josh Kulabau. He will beat
Oh, I
any
bet.
fighter on
I'll
the
bet.
roster.
Is he?
Can pour the
Now,
whole thing down his throat in a
It's
blink.
tough to chug it out of a bottle. We all agree,
It is.
right?
And
Making
it's
excuses
cold.
already, huh?
Any
All right.
cup? We got the little cups.
There he
There
is.
it goes.
Look, let me say something. If there's an Irish guy with a red hair, red face, and a red mustache,
I know.
he can chug a beer. Look at that. Look at Paul.
That's
Actually,
impressive.
That is a
That's
solid.
impressive.
That's a solid chug right there.
I think I did you a favor.
Look at
That's
that.
impressive, Paulie. That's a cold beer.
He should
A
have
lot
done.
of
Oh, that was cold.
experience. A lot of experience for the Iron Lung pouring hops and barley down his throat. All right. Jose Aldo Jr., to the surprise of many, is back.
The owner of Famous Burger in Brazil, back at 135. I asked him why not 45, and he goes, "No, I'm a bantamweight."
He's got the shame towel.
Now
there.
he got that shame net.
Shame.
The box
shame.
of shame.
I like this beer.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
136.
All right, Aldo. There you go, buddy.
Aldo.
Gramas para José
1 pound
Aldo
allowance for the
Júnior.
non-title fight, 136 pounds for the King of Rio, Jose Aldo.
You remember when that was a problem for him to make 45?
Yeah.
I know.
It was always like, is he gonna make the weight? Maybe he might miss the weight.
Yeah.
Now that dude's making 35.
And he,
All right,
and he
so-
fights good at 35 too.
Yeah, he does. He looks good.
So this matchup against Jonathan Martinez is of great interest for myriad reasons, but when you talk about leg kickers, both of these guys have utilized this weapon to great effect in their UFC careers.
Yes.
But when a lot of people talk about the most prolific leg kickers in UFC history, King of Rio, Jose Aldo is the jumping off point. Now, my top 5 leg kickers are not part of this program. I would have given some love to Paul Felder, but we're going to start with your top 5 leg kickers, Paulie, of all time.
And again, I didn't necessarily put these in order, but for me, Edson Barboza is the one that jumps off the page. When you've finished men with leg kicks multiple times, you're on that list. Jose Aldo, again, I mean, I remember watching him in the WEC days and being obsessed with Muay Thai is one of the reasons I got into it, as well as Justin Gaethje. When the calf kick became a thing, he started devastating people's legs with that. Pedro Hizzo, throwback to one of the original guys that was smashing legs early on. And my boy, Donald Cerrone, I loved him for the same reason. WEC, smashing legs, great Muay Thai. Those are the guys that have always kind of jumped off the page for me as top 5 leg kickers.
I'm going all throwbacks, mostly throwbacks except for one, but I'm going Thiago Alves is the number one guy. I mean,
he was on.
Yeah,
Yes.
he inspired a lot of leg kickers. And then I'm going to go Jonathan Martinez only because Jose Aldo gets a lot of love already. So I wanted to give Jonathan Martinez his props. Then Edson Barboza, you can't have a leg kick conversation without Edson. Then Marco Ruas because he was the original guy. But the original guy is Marco Ruas.
Yeah,
Stopping big boys with leg kicks. I got to put him out there. People forgot about him.
All right, my top 5, even though Dean said Marco Ruas twice, instead of Pedro Hizzo. Dean, I don't know what just happened there. All right, I got Aldo at 1, but he's gone away from that lately. Gaethje, you remember when Gaethje first got to the UFC? All he did was leg kick. He's gone away from it a little bit, but he still has great leg kicks. Edson Barboza, Alex Pereira. Why aren't you guys putting the legs on there?
Oh.
It's debilitating. They can't even stand. Once he lands 3 of them. Look, all these guys that we put on our list, and Thiago Alves is 5, but all these guys that we put on our list, it takes 10, 15, 20 leg kicks before guys start falling. Even great Edson. Alex takes 3.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you can barely move and you're stuck standing
I think
in
I
front.
forgot him, honestly, just because I think of his left hook so damn much.
Yes,
in
but he's got
recency
great
bias.
weapons, right?
Yeah.
And all those come from him just making you stand there.
Yeah.
He takes your wheels away. Big Knob! What's up, baby? Look, Big Knob just passed. That's my boy right there. Big Knob!
Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira scheduled to join us at some point, hopefully on the weigh-in show today. You are watching the official. Can I reset this pig or what?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, he's almost like the president in this bitch. They need to play that when he walks past, right?
For sure.
There are few fighters that make me as starstruck as that man. And when Frank Mir snapped his arm in Toronto in 2011, I was trying to get on an elevator, and all of a sudden this casted arm reaches through to save me from getting crushed, and it's fucking that guy, man.
That dude is
been starstruck ever since. All right. It is the official UFC 301 weigh-in show. Paul Felder, John Anik, Dean Thomas, Daniel Cormier. As you see, 45 minutes left, and we have just one of the 28 fighters who has yet to weigh in. It is Karolina Kowalkiewicz in the strawweight division. She's won 4 in a row, so hopefully she'll make her way downstairs in the not-too-distant future. But we are now joined by one of the stars of this pay-per-view main card, the budding UFC contender, Caio Borralho. Caio, it's good to see you this morning, my man. How was the weight cut?
The weight cut was smooth, you know. I took like 6-7 pounds in the night, and I woke up in weight. So very good, feel good. I'm already hydrating. It's good to be talking with you guys. You guys having fun there, right?
We are having a good time, and we enjoyed our time with you in the fighter meeting. And I gotta say, your embrace of this English language is pretty impressive. When did you start learning English, and when did you get to a point where you felt like you could converse in a second language?
Thank you guys. Actually, this is my mom's fault, you know. She put me in English school when I was about 9, 10, and then I started talking about 14, and then I stopped talking, and went back talking when I got to the Las Vegas to the Contender Series. Then I was like, oh, I can talk in English. Let's go.
Caio, we talked a lot about your team, the Fighting Nerds, and you've really repped them hard since the beginning, way back when you were on the Contender Series. What is that atmosphere like, and what makes you guys so special? And now you have those teammates joining you on this card. How has it been for you guys?
Yeah, it's been like a dream come true, you know. We come from a small group. We started with a small group 2 years ago when I entered the UFC. Now we already have like 7 UFC fighters and 3 fighting the same card. And this year we're hoping to get 4 or 5 more on the Contender Series. So we're doing a great job, you know. We put everything of ourselves into this sport, you know. We study all day, we'll be training all day, talking about MMA all day. So that's all we do, you know. We are putting the effort that nobody's putting, you know. So maybe that's why we're getting all this attention.
Caio, we spoke yesterday in the lobby, and it was so important for you to tell me that you fight the toughest guys. Why is it so important for you to share that message?
Oh, just because it's, you know, like when you want to get the level of competition to get the belt, you need to pass through some tests, you know. And I think I passed through some hard tests, and now I'm ready to pass through the tests on the rankings, you know. So I think it's just important for me just to feel more secure, to feel more experienced inside the octagon, and I think everything that I've been through is going to make difference, and especially on Saturday nights and you know, the other fights too.
As you look down the line a little bit, Caio, you are fighting a guy in Paul Craig who's beat some of the better guys up a weight class. Do you have to just win tomorrow, or do you feel like in order to really push yourself forward, you've got to beat him impressively to really show people, look, I'm not only ready for the best, but I'm more than prepared, and you guys better be on high alert?
Yeah, for sure. I want to KO Paul Craig. That's not a secret. I've been telling this my entire training camp. And just to remember you guys, in the Contender Series, I fought a light heavyweight guy, and I knocked him out in the first round. After that, Michael Leksechuk, he was top 15 on the light heavyweight division, and I submitted him. So it's just another light heavyweight that I'm going to get, and I'm going to finish, you know, and I'm going to finish by KO. That's what I'm planning. That's my mantra, and that's what I've been saying the entire camp, you know.
Caio Borralho fights Paul Craig, kicking off the pay-per-view main card Saturday night at UFC 301. My man, we appreciate the time. Rest up, and look forward to watching you compete tomorrow, sir.
Thank you, guys. Have fun out there.
Thank you, brother. Representing the Fighting Nerds, Caio Borralho with us on the official UFC 301 weigh-in show. All right, so I think public perception and opinion sort of differs when it comes to this return for Jose Aldo, right? But there are a lot of fighters, my guy Paul Felder and others, who I think some fans have pined to see come out of retirement and return to competition. So we asked you guys to come up with 3 fighters that you would like to see come back from retirement. Maybe you felt like there was still tread on the tires, number of different directions in which you could go. But I need 3 fighters you'd like to see come out of retirement and compete in MMA again.
I got a list.
Well,
I wrote it
down.
down. I emailed it to people. It's official.
I like you better buzzed up on this program, but we do need some food for
I still
Paulie
got to run later today. It's going to be a mess today.
All right, who you got?
Habib. I think he's still got more. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think he left too early. I think he should come back. And Zabit, come on. that guy just disappeared. He's still destroying people, and he was just like, nah, I don't want to do this anymore. And I respect it. But he left with a lot of tread on the tire. I could see him. And GSP, look at how fit the guy is still to this day. Came out of retirement, fought Michael Bisping, put on a great show, and then walked away again. But I think if he wanted to, he could have continued on his journey if he felt so.
That's a great list.
It's all right.
Yeah,
I mean, I went with 3 of my former broadcast partners. Health is wealth, but Dan Hardy, we always thought that he would return to competition. That hasn't happened. You know, Brian Stan is one of my best friends in the world, so hopefully he's not watching this weigh-in show. But for the greatest living American, like, what was that suicide mission against Vanderlei Silva in 2013, right? I mean, I felt like Brian had a decided approach in that fight, but I felt like still Stan had some tread left on the tires. And then Kenny Florian, you know, back injury shortened his career. He got a late start in MMA. Yes, he's my podcast partner and dear friend, but he did not intend to retire after the Jose Aldo title fight in 2011, but his back abandoned him, and he just could never get it right. So I would have liked to have seen one more from Ken Flo at 55 before.
Man, I don't even make that list.
That's a great
That
list.
hurts, dude.
Well, I led the conversation with you, but
hurts.
You always say who's not on this
I'm glad
show.
I got beer in me at least. You know, it makes it easier to deal with.
My three. I got Khabib, Zabit, Khabib, and Cain Velasquez.
Oh,
those are my 3.
Cain was
Velasquez,
good one.
Zabit,
That's a good one.
Khabib, and Cain Velasquez. Just
you got
they messed up my graphic.
Okay,
They messed up my graphic.
Is that Derek Thompson?
Bro, I cannot believe how they always undercut me on this damn show.
So is that Derek Thompson, your friend?
Why do I keep coming here when I'm bullied? Yeah, it's Derek. Freaking Derek. So first,
how did the video game play with Derek go for you? By
I can tell you because they're in the room next door, and I needed my earplugs at 11 o'clock last night.
So Khabib, because it just felt too soon. It really did feel like if Khabib was still here today, he would still be the champion, right? 4 years ago, he was that far ahead of people. It didn't seem that way. Zabit, because he was just really, really good. And Cain Velasquez, because the Cain Velasquez fight felt odd, right? Coming back, fighting Francis after an injury, not really knowing that Francis was going to be what Francis became, and then he just kind of left. Right, I felt like Cain could have still fought, especially at the top of the division for a while.
Was Chuck Liddell legit on your list when you sent that originally?
Nah, he couldn't have been. There's no way Chuck Liddell was on your list.
We did have a conversation, though, about
context?
the Iceman Chuck Liddell and the extent to which he could realize success in modern-day MMA.
Thank you. And just to go through the Chuck Liddell experience, I misunderstood the assignment. Who would you want to see in today's MMA?
Oh, yeah.
That way,
okay.
if people got to experience a guy that was next level, could you imagine Chuck Liddell in today's? Chuck would be like the biggest star in fighting still.
Yeah.
He was just that massive, but he'd have to be able to win.
He's still one of the biggest stars. And Paul, I didn't put you on my list because I thought you had a great carear. So my list.
So his ass is washed up to you.
No, he had a great career.
You know what?
So number 1 on my list was.
How was Amanda Nunes's career, Daniel?
Well, no, but she could still.
But mine was good.
But she could still scrap.
Oh,
Holdsworth.
Chris
Holdsworth. Chris Holdsworth.
Yeah. And Paul can't scrap anymore.
Imagine if Dean drank.
I'm just going to start eating these things
It
here.
came out wrong. I didn't mean it like that. But Chris Holdsworth, I know he couldn't be able to come back because his career was cut short due to a training injury. But I would have loved to see what his career could have done. Amanda Nunes, she still might even be able to come back. Listen, Kayla Harrison keep doing her thing. We might see an Amanda Nunes come back. And then Zabit, I mean, this guy should have never retired.
He could have been one.
He was good everywhere. Zabit, shame on you.
Remember the last one? The last Zabit fight? He was just flexing on somebody out there.
It was
Who
like
was he
Calvin
beating
Kattar.
up on?
Calvin
That
Kattar.
was crazy, though. He was just, I was like, this dude's just shining.
Yeah.
Isn't he like a doctor or something now? Like,
Yeah, he's doing a lot of things that don't relate to mixed martial arts. But, you know, when it comes to us talking about fighters coming out of retirement, this all has to do with Jose Aldo Jr. And I was absolutely stunned at the timeline, right? Seeing the emotions as he walked out at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and then a few months later, he's back in the UFC. I know you and I disagree a little bit, but
100%.
What are your thoughts on this, and what were your thoughts when you initially saw the headline?
Again, you know, when somebody has a career, they have an open window when they're going to do their best work. And I thought he did his best work, and now he's out of that, and I don't think he should come back and try to do it again.
You know, I sat with Jose Aldo earlier in the week for my YouTube, which will debut after this show. But we spoke about that. Him and I spoke about that. And I asked him, I said, Jose, why now? And it was very odd to me because I was watching around mixed martial arts and seeing some of the words that people were saying. And they were saying stuff like, well, he had one fight left in his contract. This was Chael telling me that. Chael said he's coming back because he has one fight left. He's going to do it and be done. But as I'm talking to Jose Aldo, he's talking about he can still compete for a championship. It doesn't feel like a one-off. I thought initially it was a one-off. It feels like he's here for a run. I asked him, I thought you felt complete. The crowd, with the pay, with you and I know, John, because you host it every year. The Hall of Fame, the UFC does such a wonderful job of giving you that walk one more time. You hear that music play for you. You walk through this corridor, and it's pictures of your career and all your great moments. You get to live it once more.
Yeah.
And Jose seemed complete in that. But this guy has designs of coming back and thinking he could fight Sean O'Malley and those guys for titles.
What changed when you
I
talked
don't
to
know.
him?
I don't know.
Because that's a big shift.
But that does fly in the face of some of his other comments this week. He was suggested that the UFC offered him a new contract. He respectfully declined. One fight left on his deal, potentially trying to fight that out.
And that's what Chael told me.
He has so many opportunities, right? I mean, he was afforded the opportunity to go box professionally under the Judo Brazil banner twice, right? Like, there's so...
No. He should have just retired. I mean, listen, we already cried for him.
I totally disagree.
No,
but he also said that...
Hold on, wait. What you...
Oh, my God. Y'all gotta settle this.
Bro, Jose Aldo's still ready to go,
He's
man.
not ready to go.
You mother...
Oh, my God.
What
the
fuck? He's
What is
37,
this
dude.
shit?
He's won 3 of his last 4.
Good slip, good slip.
Oh,
wow.
jab. We turned that over.
What happened to...
Dude.
Were we supposed to have music?
I don't know how that played on live TV.
It
Probably
played
not
pretty
great.
good. It played pretty good.
Music.
But Jose Aldo's won 3 of his last 4. Only got to beat him since 2020. Merab Dvalishvili. You still got... You still got something left. I mean, it sounds to me like you're picking Jonathan Martinez.
I'm hurt. He hit me for real.
Hey, that's a great point, though, right? You lose to Merab. Everybody else you're beating.
Cheeto and Rob Font. I mean,
Well, he's good. He's still really, really good.
All right, so I live in
think
South
I'm drunk.
Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna
There's
be
some
honest.
pretty good acai in South Florida, but it really pales when it comes to Brazil. So we have a challenge today. We are all going to build an acai bowl, and we're going to see who can make the best tasting acai bowl.
Take the
RJ
stairs.
Clifford is going to be our judge. I'm a little buzzed right now, fellas, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
You know,
one
I'm a
little bit,
lightweight.
Yeah, one little
I had
bit,
to
he's already
slam that
buzzed.
thing.
Well, we got nothing in the system, right? Unlike Paulie, we get that run out of the way this morning so we can drink and do recreational drugs after the program. All right, acai pong. So,
now we're
but this is all like good stuff, so this is great.
All right. So the cups have numbers that coordinate 2 ingredients. So we each will get 3.
I don't know. What's
So let's start shooting, Paulie.
Fire away.
And when you make it, grab a cup. Anybody can.
Do I get like 2 pieces if I make the...
Hey, you got a ping pong ball? Dino, can I have a...
That's one for me.
That's
Thank you. Thanks, bro. No, you're good.
That's 10.
10.
I haven't played Beirut since Theta Chi Fraternity in 2001.
It's showing. It's very well. It's definitely showing.
Look at these ex-professional athletes.
This is terrible.
I'm just going to take the 3 that are left. I mean, this is...
Come on, you guys are like blocking me out.
Well,
Get in here.
this is awful.
Curry for 3.
You can bring him over.
This is bad.
We
They need water
We
in
need water in
there.
them.
That's me, RJ. Randall, that's me.
That counts.
I got
too.
that one.
All right.
1.
That's me.
3.
Oh, no, that's not a good draw.
That's me right there.
Is that like condensed milk? Oh, actually, people like that.
I love condensed milk.
DC, that's good.
That's good?
Yeah, dude,
I got 5.
the condensed milk draw might be the one.
Hey, RJ, put them back closer. It'll make it easier.
Re-rack.
Re-rack them real cool. That'll make it a little easier for us, yeah. Woo!
That's me.
That's DC right there. Of course, the
7.
Yep.
Wait, where's my third one?
Oh!
Of course.
6. Is that a 9 or a 6?
So this
Are you supposed to
acai-
take the cup away if you get one?
It's kinda like
oh, I had
two-
1.
two
I had that
sides.
already.
All right.
You had that one?
Yeah, I had
We'll
one.
Take that one.
All right.
Don't worry,
All right,
my shot is good from here.
That counts.
All right, that counts.
It counts.
All right, so
4 and 12 for Dino. Dinero.
all right, so this looks like a yellow kiwi.
That would be a kiwi, yeah. So pick your.
They're yellow in Brazil, green in the United States. Is that the deal?
I think they're just extra ripe here. I'm assuming. I hope, because I'm eating it.
All right, so it looks as though I have like chocolate chip cookies that we're gonna throw in here.
1, 4, and 11.
And then my third ingredient appears to be condensed milk, and this is what all the kids put in their acai bowls in South Florida to make them super unhealthy and taste great. So I'm gonna mix this up, and then Randall's gonna
I got
try
some, I think this is Cocoa Puffs.
Ooh, wow.
Very authentic Brazilian.
Yeah, Cocoa
mixture.
Puffs. Oh, hey.
D.
Oh, dude, I got.
I got I got some some,
oh man.
What is this? Some granola.
Looks like granola.
That's whack. I'm putting a little bit of that.
What's your
And
third
then I got,
ingredient, Dino?
I got what's it? Like powdered sugar. It's disgusting.
Okay.
Man, this is
It's a
I
healthy
got
breakfast.
1, 4, and 11. So looks like strawberries.
Okay.
I like this. 4 is banana.
All right. Ooh, healthy. Ooh. Getting my vitamins.
And then I have whatever is 11 down there. It looks like some sort of, like almost like crushed up graham crackers or something.
Oh, that's nice. I got 3, which is some mango,
what
I
is this? Do
think.
you know?
Mango.
No
Yep.
idea what that is.
What is it?
Yep, I got 3.
What's
Crushed up
that?
graham cracker.
I have
Looks like a
9.
graham cracker.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is so much less serious than my
Mine
other
is
I
like
have
what
9,
you would get.
which is chocolate chip.
All
I'm
right.
not going to get it.
I would
And I
like
have
to
10.
present you
Okay.
my acai bowl, complete with
have-
chocolate
What
chip
is this
cookies,
10?
condensed milk, and the ripest kiwis you've ever fucking
The
seen.
presentation is phenomenal.
So I think we went a little bit heavy on the condensed milk, but
One bite.
we're hopeful that this will be something that.
This is the bomb right here. Oh,
You
is
have
that
the crunch with
Butterfingers
the
or
cold.
something?
You like that condensed milk? You like
That's,
that? shit.
gives it some earth.
You love it.
Nice and earthy.
All right.
You love
And
it.
my bowl of Cocoa Crisps.
This Cocoa Puffs. That was my
Cocoa Puffs.
nickname in high school. So
Well, I'm getting a mouthful
Are
of
these
D in
all
high school.
actual ingredients that go into acai bowls?
I taste nothing but Cocoa Crisp. 100% Cocoa Crisp. Okay.
Wait, no, cleanse your palate with DCs first.
I think I'm going to take care of the diabetes.
Daniel's just adding stuff.
No, I just, it's
You- what-
3,
what-
9, and 10. 3, 9, and 10. I got some, I don't know what this is, man. I don't know
your
what
What is
winner
the
right
white
here,
stuff?
guys.
I have
Look
no
at that.
idea.
It looks like packaging material.
It really does.
Like
I think it fights the
styrofoam.
diabetes.
What is it?
Crispy rice?
What is that?
I don't have a. I think it's like what, like a Rice Krispie square. I
Yeah.
ordered like a rice cake.
Is it good?
It tastes like nothing, but the mango and chocolate chips pretty good.
Oh.
Now this is the only normal one. Look at the
For the
presentation.
W.
Look at the presentation.
you've done this before.
No, never.
Thanks.
RJ, how's mine taste?
Oh, yeah, get a
It
good
tastes like
scoop. Get a
insulation.
little bit of everything in there.
Oh, that's a good bite, Randall.
I know.
So yeah, we need last place and first place if you'd be so
Can I
kind.
get in there?
So, 6-year-old RJ watching cartoons on Saturday morning. This would be number 1. Acai bowl in Brazil, number 4.
All right, so Dean Thomas,
That's terrible.
Finished
First
last.
one is for sure the only one that actually tastes like an actual acai bowl, and it's the one he's currently eating right now. Paul.
The Iron Paul
gets it.
Felder
Thank you, sir.
wins the acai challenge. All right, so I'm still getting TV traffic, drinking beers while all these guys are having fun, but it's Alexandre Pantoja, Steve Erceg under the lights at UFC 301 on pay-per-view, and here's a little hype piece to get you fired up.
The champion has settled into his adopted home in Florida, where he prepares for a return to his birthplace in Brazil.
2 minutes.
To put his title on the line in the main event of UFC 301.
I have 7 years in UFC. I fight all across the world and never back to Brazil.
Chama, tum. Aí. Isso. Fica compacto ali.
Pantoja's a hunter. He's been hunting down all of this.
And now I have opportunity to go to Rio de Janeiro. When I feel the arena is with me, I'm gonna feel unstoppable.
And Pantoja is one of the very best fighters in the sport in any weight class.
I want to prove to my country how good I am.
There's the tap!
And defend my belt is gonna be very special for me.
Precisa você pensar em tudo que você fez, na tua família. Alexandre Pantoja!
Pantoja, I think that he will be extra reckless. He'll want to get a finish in front of his hometown. I've fought in hostile crowds before. I'm mentally prepared.
Erceg is definitely showing that he is on this level to be here.
Oh! Reps the head kick now!
He is so freaking skilled. It's so fun to watch.
And I'm going to go out there, take his belt.
Time to let your hands go.
Huge right hand from Erceg.
That was sensational.
Then win in dominant fashion.
This is a fantastic fight at the very highest level in the flyweight division.
1, 2, 3, FTG.
All right, as the boys finish off their acai bowls here, we are now joined by a bona fide mixed martial arts legend, UFC Hall of Famer, a man who needs no introduction, Minotaur himself, Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira. It's great to see you, brother. How we doing?
Great to see you, buddy.
My man.
By the way, I'm a big fan of all of you guys, buddy.
Well, thank you.
I know this guy since I born.
Yeah.
He was in my first fight.
I was in his very first fight in MMA.
99, yeah,
Yep,
99.
99.
So there was a time about 10 years ago when we were doing 6 or 7 shows a year in Brazil, going all over the place, Uberlândia, Jaraguá do Sul. Now it's once or twice a year. How's it feel for you to have the UFC back in Rio this week?
UFC is very important, you know, to come to Brazil. It's a big show in Brazil. I think that's our second sport, you know, like soccer, then MMA, then UFC. And Rio de Janeiro is a very important place, you know, what much like MMA born in Rio de Janeiro with the Grace family. So for everyone here, you know, they pretty much love the show.
Yeah.
And we got good fights, you know. Jose Aldo is fighting here, you know, like our co-man.
Yeah.
And then we got Alexandre Pantoja doing our man. He's from Rio de Janeiro. It's pretty good fighters.
Yeah. And of course, Pantoja hasn't fought here at all as a UFC fighter, so nice for him to get this opportunity. For us as commentators, calling fights in Brazil is just a really special thing. We feed off of the crowd. What are your thoughts on the future of mixed martial arts in Brazil and all the talent that's coming through and coming up?
It's growing very much, you know. We have more than 100 fighters from Brazil. I think U.S. and Brazil, you know, we got more fighters, you know, like, you know, American guys, you know, Brazilian guys. A lot of Russians come, but Brazil is keeping doing the, you know, very high level, because we are very good in like striking, and we are very good in jiu-jitsu. So, and the kids, the culture of Brazil, the kids starting like judo with 4 years old, like karate, you know.
Yeah.
That's why we keep doing, like in America, they're doing a lot of wrestling with their kids. In Brazil, they do a lot of judo.
Yeah.
So it's...
Is that towel so you don't spill your acai bowl on your Anderson Ward gear? Is that...
You know what's crazy? Acai's a little loose. I thought acai
It
was
is.
a
It's
little
like soup.
I gotta be honest, dude. Brazil's supposed to have great acai. I mean, I've had better acai in America, man.
Oh.
Big Nog, I'm gonna be honest, I've had better acai in America, man.
And come on, that's one of our secrets.
Hey,
The acai, man. The acai.
It seems as though it's supposed to be one of your secrets, but it's disappointed.
I mean, that one you bought, you gotta see the place where you buy the acai.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah. I wanted to.
Hey, Danny. That one you bought.
Don't leave him hanging. I wanted to ask you about Vanderlei Silva, if I could. We announced his induction into the UFC Hall of Fame a couple of months ago. He'll go in June. There's only one axe murderer, man. Pretty exciting to see him get that honor.
Yeah, I mean, Vanderlei Silva, he's a legend of the sport. You know what he did in Japan. He did great fights in UFC, but I think in UFC he was at the end of his career. You know, the best fights he did in Pride, like myself. I did more better fights in Pride. He was like, 30-some, but he's very exciting fighter to watch. Yeah. You know, he's the man. He's the man, like different guy. And the introduction was pretty, good timing for him, though. Yeah.
Can I ask Big Nog a question? No,
do whatever you want.
We want to know, I want to know, as a guy that fought, Paul and I, you and Dean fought before us, but like, what was that like? Those days in Pride, like what was that like? Because that, to us as fighters, and we're of the generation past, we would watch you guys, and it seemed so intense, and it was great. But like, what was those years like for all you great fighters down in Pride?
Yeah, it was a great time. The sport was different. It was an introduction for the sport, for the world. We used to fight in arenas like 60,000 people.
Yeah.
Like they made a big shows in Japan, like for the crowd. It's different in the United States. Now when we see a lot of things for TV, they didn't have that much technology as TV thing, but a lot of people, you know. So what's good time? What's good time? But like Japanese crowd was about martial arts, So since we was like black belts, we feeling at home. That was good thing. By the way, let me tell you, first time when I was like long time ago, I was in California training.
You guys were an hour late. You were an hour late, Nog. They had to sit there an hour late waiting for this guy to come to practice. But it's Big Nog. I'm like,
I was going to practice. I didn't know Daniel. So this guy came down. He was sitting down there, and then I said, "Who's this guy?" He's
2010.
Wow. He's gonna train with us. Then this guy shoot me a double leg. He throws me here to the octagon.
He said,
who's this guy? I said, who's this guy?
But he submitted me.
You brought someone to kill me?
But he submitted me once I got him there. Yeah. But I did take him down. But yeah, dude, we waited.
You didn't take me down, come on, you almost killed me.
Well, 1 hour late is actually on time.
Yeah, that's perfectly on time.
Well, that's why he threw me like that, because I was late.
They said we're training with Big Nog at 10:30. I'm sitting in there. It's 11:30. Big Nog roll in with a beautiful car. I mean, beautiful car. He had a glow about him. It was green. Black belt. It was a black belt glow about him. He was like, Big Nog walked in, dude, and he just had this presence. It was me, you, King Mo, Verdum, so many great guys in one gym. It was crazy.
It is amazing, though, how many fighters still list you as their favorite fighter, however many years after you have retired. I mean, you have resonated to such an extent with this roster. There's so much respect for you out there. And we want to pick your brain on a few UFC 301 rapid-fire questions. But before we get to that, I just want to ask you, Jose Aldo, were you surprised that he came back, and what are your expectations for how he will perform this weekend?
Yeah, he's a great fighter. He's a good striker, Jose Aldo. Since he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, he don't show too much how good his jiu-jitsu is. He don't use his wrestling. He's more defensive. He used to kick more before, but he got a good hand, so he trusts in his distance. He got a long reach, good right hand, He's a great fighter, though. He's picking up like young kid. He's very hard fighter to fight. Like South. The base is different. Hard kicks. Yeah. Let's see it. It's a big challenge for him. It's not an easy fight. We know that it's not an easy fight. Aldo is a favorite because it's Aldo, but we're gonna see a damn good fight. Yesterday, in the press. They almost had a fight down there, you know.
Head-to-head.
The kid's taking very serious.
That kid's crazy, but that kid's crazy. The kid says he goes to bed to wake up to train again.
Really?
Yeah, he's crazy, man. He's the man.
All right, we got to get to rapid fire. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got about 10 questions for you. Feel free to answer as long or as short as you like. Alexandre Pantoja, 5-fight win streak, best form of his career. But before that, he was kind of uneven, trading wins and losses. So what one thing has made him, in your mind, into the dominant fighter that he is today?
His mindset.
Yeah.
His mindset.
What has made Pantoja the dominant fighter that he is today?
I mean, he's walked forward, you know. He always pressed the guys.
Yeah.
Lack of carrot.
Yeah.
Yeah, just living in the moment.
Yeah.
He now understands who he is.
I was going to say American top team. All right, greater UFC flyweight legacy right now, Henry Cejudo or Alexandre Pantoja? The answer's Pantoja. All right, greatest UFC flyweight legacy right now, Henry Cejudo or Alexandre Pantoja?
Pantoja.
I gotta say Henry.
DJ,
Did Henry
man.
defend the belt?
Yes,
Yeah, Henry.
he did one time.
Henry.
Yeah. All right. Why has Steve Erceg received this title fight? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your breakfast.
He's new to the division, and he's impressed in his performances. It needed to happen.
Why has Steve Erceg received this title fight?
I
Same
agree
answer.
with him. He's impressive, you know, decent, you know, intelligent fighter.
Yeah.
He deserved it with his showing of skill.
Timing. All timing.
Yeah.
It's all timing.
Like everything in life.
Yep.
All right, what problems does Steve Erceg pose that maybe Brandon's Roybal and Moreno did not?
His particular movement, his size, and the way he strikes.
What problems does Steve Erceg pose to Pantoja that maybe the past opponents did not?
The distance, you know, he got a good distance.
Punching accuracy.
Honestly, he's a better striker. He's a better striker, just all around better.
All right, next question, Paulie. Whose leg kicks will matter more on Saturday night, Jonathan Martinez's or Jose Aldo's?
Jonathan Martinez.
Whose leg kicks?
Martinez.
Martinez, no question. Aldo can fight if it's just boxing also. Martinez needs the kicks to work.
Yeah.
Why should people get to know Jonathan Martinez?
He's fucking awesome.
He is.
Why should people get to know Jonathan Martinez?
He got a good heart, though.
He does?
Yeah.
He's crazy.
Dude, seriously, he's fucking awesome. Like, you might not seem that way, but he's awesome.
All right, so I mentioned we have 3 massive betting favorites to kick off this pay-per-view. It's not always that way. So 2 of them are Paul Craig and Anthony Smith, both about 4 or 5 to 1 underdogs. Are those prices fair to you, given the guys they're fighting, or no?
No, I don't think so.
What do you think? Paul Craig and Anthony Smith are big underdogs. Do you believe that that's fair?
I mean, Paul Craig is an underdog, you know. He can make even fight.
Yeah.
No one on the main card should be that big of an underdog.
I don't think it comes down to the main card. I think it's a matter of who they're fighting, but I think Paul Craig and Anthony Smith are getting overlooked. I don't know that these young athletes are as good as they're made out to be by these lines.
Caio Borralho and Vitor Petrino, the big favorites this weekend. All right, buy or sell, Anthony Lionheart Smith is returning too quickly after his last fight against Khalil Roundtree Jr.
Sell.
Buy or sell, Anthony Smith is coming back too soon.
Yeah, he's coming back too soon.
I sell that.
I'm gonna buy it. I think he needed some time. It's one of those situations where you want to rush back because you want to fix it. You need time it sometimes.
All right, Michel Pereira's won 7 straight fights, most of those wins in the welterweight division. He's now at 185 pounds. Fact or fiction, Michel Pereira is a legitimate middleweight title threat?
Fact.
You think Michel Pereira is a title threat? Yeah.
Yeah, he's at right time right now.
That couldn't be more fact.
That couldn't be bigger fiction. Do you know the killers at 185 in the top 5?
He's one of them.
Doesn't mean he's going to win and hold the belt.
But he's not a title contender.
No, that's not the question. That's not the question. Is he a threat to the middleweight title?
Yeah, he's in.
Fuck no. What are you guys talking about? This guy has to go all these killers to get to the title.
Fair. All right.
You always do, though.
Last question then. The aforementioned Vitor Petrino and Caio Borralho. Who is the better prospect? If you have to bet on one guy, Petrino or Borralho?
I think Borralho.
I think Borralho.
Borralho easy.
Yeah, Borralho. The fighting nerd.
All right.
The fighting nerd. Yeah. I was confused a little bit. Ohio Petrino, the guy with the glasses.
He got a good takedowns.
All right.
He's more complete.
He got everything.
All right, Big Nog's going to stick around for another minute as we also call on the star of the show, Randall Clifford. We have a segment called Rent Free, in which one fighter or moment maybe exists rent-free in your head. And I guess I'll kick things off here. I will never, ever question Anthony Smith's mental, physical, emotional toughness. And I'm not talking about the time he had to fight a would-be robber in his home. I'm talking about the time during COVID-19, the pandemic, May of 2020, when Anthony Smith loses his teeth fighting Glover Teixeira and picks up his own goddamn teeth in the middle of a UFC fight. Long on toughness. Anthony Lionheart Smith, RJ Clifford, what's your rent-free moment?
Big fans of Anthony Lionheart Smith here. Takes an illegal knee from John Jones. He could easily say, look, I can't continue, which would have been true. Instead, he says, give me more, John Jones. I would like to keep fighting you.
And let you keep your championship.
I'm going to let you keep your belt. I don't want to take a
honorable,
belt that way. I want to take it the real way. All kinds of heart.
Sure that was a lot of heart, but I have to go with Jose Aldo. I remember I was trying to go down to featherweight during this time, and bang! That was a reminder why I don't want to fight anymore. When Jose Aldo flying kneed Cub Swanson in the face, and Cub Swanson was a terrific fighter at the time, and he just absolutely zoom, bing, put him out, one and done, and that was it. Yeah.
You remember Pantoja? Listen.
Take care of me and my two brothers alone, you know. Now, Dad, you proud of me, Dad. You proud of me.
Dad, are you proud of me? Dad, are you proud of me? In that moment, and he kind of like talked about it a little bit to us now, but like, Dad, are you proud? When you become the world champ, your life's work is complete. You go back to the person that you feel wasn't what you wanted him to be or needed him to be as a father. That was some deep shit to watch. Yeah. That was tough. I'll never forget that.
That was good. That was good. It's hard to follow that, but I think when Jose gets this knockout, spin around, big knee, and then of course to embrace his people, flies out of the cage. But look at that knee, unbelievable.
Last second of the round.
Yeah, right at the end.
Yeah. Oh.
And then obviously, this was the best part. Look at this. I mean, come on. Prime Jose right there, man.
That gives you goosebumps looking at that, right?
5 minute talk before we get you on out of here. Illustrious career for you. You competed on every big stage in MMA. When you look back on your career, whether it's a moment that happened in Brazil or not, what was the best moment of your career?
I mean, for UFC, you know, I have all my memories, like in Pride when I got this belt. But I think when UFC came to Brazil, I wasn't champ by this time. It was 2011. I fought at this arena. The crowd, you know, especially for me, you know, first time in Brazil. Like, Brazil, UFC came to Brazil like 17 years before. Then we have a big time of no UFC. Then we have all the media supporting us. I think it was the biggest time, you know, see the people screaming, you know, that's...
I better give you goosebumps.
Yeah, good moment. You're saying, yeah, that's right, yeah. I was feeling that, you know, the energy. And then that's why we're here, you know, because of the energy of the crowd and the fans.
Well,
yeah,
it can be said there's no better ambassador for mixed martial arts in Brazil. The bona fide legend, UFC Hall of Famer, Minotauro Nogueira, joining us. We appreciate you, brother.
Thank you
standing
much,
ovation. Man. Get up, boys. Come on, man. I mean, can you get up for the legend? Jeez. Thank you for your time, brother.
Thank you,
Appreciate you, champ.
It's my man. It's my man.
All right, so our last and final of the 28 fighters to weigh in. Poland's Karolina Kowalkiewicz.
Go get some. Still some over there.
28th and final. Just over 7 minutes to go on the clock. And you can argue Kowalkiewicz is in better current form now than
116,
she
52 quilos e 600
her countrywoman, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, for the UFC strawweight title around 2016 or so. A lot of people buried this woman, never expected that she would reel off 4 or 5 straight wins in a row. If she can beat Yasmin Lucindo this Saturday night, Karolina Kowalkiewicz will have 5 consecutive wins. All right, we're going to grab our whiteboards now, and I think I need one because we are going to play a newlywed game. I kind of want to be a little closer to Daniel if I could. I can't. All right.
Oh, we're sure on whiteboard.
Okay.
We're back.
All right, so we're short of
All right,
whiteboard.
guys, listen, John, I'm going to give you a little bit of break, man.
All right,
here
thank
you
you,
are
bro.
on the way and show you're always in charge of things, but I'm going to take charge.
Thank you,
Now,
my man.
We're going to play our version of the newlywed game. John and DC, you're married. You guys are going to play against each other. And obviously, you two, very familiar with each other.
You got to
this is too
You're gonna play
easy.
together. We're going to do 2 rounds of the show, and we're going to start with round 1. And we're going to start with John and DC for round 1 only.
All right.
You guys don't need to
Let's go.
answer. You can hang tight. And then we'll play round 2 after we go through you guys. All right. Are you ready, DC? The first question is for you, and it's about John. How many kids does John have? How many kids? 3, 2, 1. 3! The answer is 3. All right. Yeah, I didn't know you were talking. Okay.
That's right. 3
John.
that I know of.
The next one. The next one is for you, John.
3 in Florida.
Yeah.
What is Daniel allergic to? What is
Shellfish.
Oh, John.
All right.
He knew it. Answer is shellfish. You don't even need to
I
write
didn't
it down.
expect that question.
I don't know if I can get that one if you don't.
All right, next question. Who does John like better? His mom or his dad?
This is a Pantoja theme, by the way.
I know this one.
Do they watch? That's the question.
Yeah.
Mom.
Yes, of
The
course.
pro
Pop's
golfer.
watching.
The golfer.
Much
John,
closer with my
I think
mom.
you'll know this one.
You
but
love
I'm
me
gonna
now, Dad?
Where was Daniel
No.
born, John?
Daniel's born in Lafayette, Louisiana.
There you go. Easy. Ding, ding, ding. Easy, easy. You guys are good, man. Daniel, same question. Where was John born?
Oh, man.
Boston.
Yeah, Boston.
Boston.
In the city, not just Mass.
Okay, John.
And that's my claim to fame. Born in the
There
1970s in Boston, Massachusetts. There were
Tough
hospitals
city.
out in the
Tough
Metro
city.
West, you know?
John,
Yes.
how many siblings does Daniel have?
Jeez.
Is it tougher than children?
3.
Oh!
Three
No, that was a
siblings.
tough one. That was a tough one.
Let's go. We're getting married.
All right,
We're getting
so
married.
you guys
Oh, man.
got to get everything right. You guys did awesome.
Let's go. Northside High
Now we're
School.
moving on to
Colby
Dean and
Community
RJ.
Are
College.
you guys in bunk beds
Dean.
when you travel on the road? How do you know all this stuff?
Dean,
no,
first
Dean.
question for Dean. How many dogs does RJ have?
1.
All right, so you guys lost basically already.
All right, let's see.
Okay. What do we get if we get 0 out of 6?
Zach, you're going to have to...
Oh,
this
round
was
2?
stapled
Okay.
wrong. Where was Dean born, RJ? Just state, no city.
Delaware.
Nice, bro.
The only interesting thing about Delaware is where Dean was born.
All right,
Hi, I'm from
Dean,
Delaware.
Where did RJ wrestle?
San Francisco State.
Nice, dude.
Oh,
okay.
fuck.
RJ, who did Dean Thomas fight? You should know this. In his UFC debut.
In his debut?
Big name.
It's a good name. It's
BJ Penn?
Yeah, bro.
Dude, these guys
The
are
name that on
getting
the
fed
radio show for
answers.
some
I know.
reason
They're
They're
slipped
getting
my
fed
mind.
answers. We're all of a sudden.
You are the one
All right,
complaining
Dean.
about answers. I
This
hear
one
everything.
is a little bit tougher, but maybe you know this. What does RJ collect? He collects a very specific thing, has many of them. And it's related to one of his favorite hobbies, I'll
Beer
say that.
koozies.
Oh!
This
nice.
is bullshit.
Yeah, they
I
are.
feel
They're
like- you feel
definitely
like they're
feeding
being
questions.
fed
They're
today?
feeding
You guys
I feel
don't
like
still
there's
listen
some
to MMA
bullshit
Today
in
on
it.
Sirius
Yes,
XM
it is.
Radio.
Definitely feeding
It's
questions.
mostly
we gotta
bullshit
show
to
the-
talk.
What is the name of Dean's coffee shop, RJ?
Ah, mother.
And it'll come to him in his ear in about
Yeah,
3,
randomly.
2.
Come on, get it right.
Dinero.
The Modern Rose.
Modern Rose.
Let's go.
6-4.
Let's go.
All right. Round 2 coming up.
I haven't gotten invited yet.
Yeah, so this is...
Fourth now?
We're getting some instructions if this is bad TV.
It's not what is written on my sheet.
Oh my God, dude, this is so good.
I do, but it does not start with that.
So,
it's like this
is it like who is the better dancer of me and Daniel, or all 4? Okay.
All right, who is the better dancer?
And we got to answer too? All 4 of us?
Everybody's answering. All right, who is the better
Finally, they
dancer?
give us a softball.
Between them two?
And us.
All right, yeah. Come on, guys.
Yeah, you guys want to try to be on
Let's
the
try to
same
do this.
page. Who's the better dancer? All right, John and DC, go.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
Correct?
Let's
All right,
go!
guys.
Oh, my God.
Come on now.
Yeah, we
That
got
was
one
the
black
easiest one
guy.
so far.
And
All
one
right,
white
I got
guy.
a question.
Zach,
Can I just ask some of these that I
He
have
didn't say
here?
line dance. It's a dancer.
Yeah, who is more likely to pay the bill if we're out and about? The check
Still
comes.
stereotyping?
It certainly ain't DC. We
With
know
respect.
that. It ain't DC. RJ,
One
okay,
white guy,
good.
one black guy. Black guy trying to hold on to his money. Black dude's trying to hold on to his money.
Who's more likely to dunk a basketball?
We are going to end racism in one show, I promise you.
Who is the better dresser? Who is the better dresser?
Everything I'm wearing right now is 10
I
years
think
old.
this is obvious on this side and obvious on this side.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Which one debuted against BJ Penn?
All right, this is a good one. Who is nicer to the crew and the people that we work with? Who is nicer to the crew?
We're both pretty nice to the crew, but
I'm just going to say me.
Oh,
we got one wrong.
You're wrong here,
Me and
guys.
I've never seen Dean be
What is the
Matt
crew
Dean to
thing?
anybody.
What is the crew
Yeah.
thing?
Okay, yeah, what is the crew thing?
Yeah, can we
Just
just vote?
the people you work with.
Never
Let's just
fucking said that. Sometimes
people
I,
you work with.
I cuss at him, I yell at him sometimes. I don't know what I was thinking.
Okay. Here's a good one.
DC gets cranky.
This is the last one?
Guys, no, we got more. Who? In what year did you first meet?
Oh my God.
So, what year did you guys first ever meet each other?
I think it was in
Do not flip until we say flip.
I think I remember you
John
don't.
and
I'm going to
DC,
go.
11.
Yeah!
Oh, yes, go, baby!
RJ.
11.
Oh.
Oh, wrong.
What'd you
Yes.
say?
2018, 2014.
We crossed paths, I'm sure, 10 years ago, but like.
All right, here's another one. This is important. This is important.
I knew John before I did UFC
Guys.
live on ESPN.
Who would survive longer in a zombie apocalypse?
Oh, no. I know that is not.
All right. RJ, Dean.
Oh, I didn't.
All
Low
right.
maintenance.
Oh,
Low
yeah,
maintenance.
maybe a little bit.
Low maintenance.
I should be
All right,
penalized. for that.
DC.
From
Who
that.
would win in a basketball game between you?
Oh, that's a big one. Okay, so I'm very confident.
I ain't losing one-on-one to this guy. This question, Zach, I'm sorry, but
Wow.
okay.
No, I didn't even say. I didn't
They don't
even
get a point.
say.
Their chance, Dean.
He played
Their chance.
basketball.
Can we flip?
Yeah. Yeah.
But John actually played competitive basketball.
We're tied up all of a sudden. This
All
way
right.
we've
No,
been
we're up
kicking
one.
their asses, and
John,
we're
I got a give me question for you
Okay.
guys. Who is on their phone more at dinner?
Is that just for them or all of us?
I mean, it's for everyone, but it's pretty obvious for the Yeah. Guys, flip.
Okay.
We're up by
You guys
one or
are doing
two.
great.
1%.
No, wait, we
more.
should be up one.
It's a
All right.
monologue.
Speaking
We were
of,
up two.
whilst we're in a
But we
competition,
were up two.
You're up one.
who is more competitive?
Was that
Who is more competitive?
This is where we get
the ultimate
Guys.
competitor from Lafayette, Louisiana?
RJ, good job.
This should not be tied, bro.
Oh, this is fun.
Wait. There's a scoring error, guys.
There's a scoring error.
There's a scoring error. We were up
All right,
two.
well, we'll
No, you
address it
weren't.
afterwards. We got to get
Yeah.
through this.
Thank you.
Who is the better driver? Do we even know?
Oh,
We're not
yeah.
talking golf. We're talking in a vehicle.
Fuck!
Ah, yeah.
God dang it!
Come on,
guys.
baby.
I'm thinking
Come on, baby.
Toyota Prius.
Hey,
Third
stop.
generation
Can I say
trucker.
something?
Yeah.
Third
All right.
generation trucker.
Right?
Could I say something that these guys are like? He's showing his board.
Yeah.
Who?
That's not even true.
RJ's looking at your board.
No, he's not.
You're turning it sideways, dude.
Who is the first to apologize after an argument? Who is the first to
we
apologize
fight so much.
after an argument? Yeah, you guys may not fight.
Who did?
We didn't cheat. They're alleging cheat. We did not
Yeah,
cheat
that's
at
it.
all.
Finally.
Wrong.
You guys did that on purpose.
Yeah.
You guys
all
did
right.
that on purpose for
We're
this
up.
one because you knew you got caught cheating.
Is that why
Starting
you guys
with
cheat?
Daniel and John, what is, DC, what is John's biggest pet peeve about you and vice versa?
All about him.
Oh, not vice versa.
Oh, wait.
Oh, so yeah, what is John's biggest pet peeve about you, Daniel? You both
My
have to
biggest
agree
pet
on.
peeve about me.
Yeah, John's biggest pet peeve about you.
me. Shit.
Oh no.
I think it probably is me being on my phone when we're at dinner. Probably on my phone and we're like.
They have bunk beds when
Now,
they travel.
for you
I swear
guys,
to God.
what is Dean's biggest
What do you
pet
mean?
peeve about RJ?
I mean,
He loves everything about me.
Dean's biggest pet peeve about you, RJ?
Dean is in a recessive red hair jeans sandwich right now between Felder and Clifford.
Getting redder by the minute.
I don't know if you're going to get it.
There's no way.
There's no way. Country music. Cowboy, you don't like my boots? I'm offended. You don't like my boots?
What was it, RJ? What did you put?
What did you put? Oh, he's drunk. No, I like him when he's drunk. Honestly, I do like. I just nothing. I had nothing.
Okay.
All right, you guys won.
Damn it.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby.
Hey, we lose that, we got a problem.
But see, I will
If we
say,
lost
like,
that, we got a problem.
That is.
I have long referred to him as the ultimate competitor, right? And even though I consider myself to be a competitive individual, once we got that question, it's like I've been referring to him as the
actually
ultimate
voiced
competitor.
something that said the ultimate
He's
competitor
the
from
ultimate
Lafayette, Louisiana.
competitor.
Oh, that's all my stuff.
All right. One of my favorite parts of the program, UFC 301, you better. You better ask somebody, right?
You better
so
ask somebody.
Essentially, I'm going to give you guys a name of a fighter, and you're essentially going to say this fighter better fucking do this, or it's not going to go particularly well on Saturday night, right? So you're not going to have to answer all of them, and you're not doing the first one, so you can eat that acai bowl as we get to Dean Thomas. But Alexandre Pantoja, Dino, you better.
Pantoja, you better not go technique for technique against Erceg. He will pick you apart. You better stick to him. You better stay on him. You better stay in his face and make this ugly. Because if you go technique for technique, you're going to get picked apart.
DC, Alexandre Pantoja, you better.
Pantoja, you better make this fight ugly. You have got to force him to fight you in the way that you made Brandon Moreno fight you. You got to be pressuring. You got to take some risk if you want to keep your championship this weekend.
All right, next we get to the title challenger, Steve Astro Boy Erceg, Paulie. Steve Erceg, you better.
Steve Erceg, you better cut those angles and force him to move forward.
Dino, Steve Erceg, you better.
Steve Erceg, you better disengage in all wrestling aspects. Don't turn your back and give up your back. Just completely disengage and keep some space.
Anyone who was in our fighter meeting really enjoyed the dynamic between Jonathan Martinez and Daniel Cormier, so we're going to give this one to you exclusively. Jonathan Martinez, you better what?
Jonathan Martinez, you better be you, man. You better be the guy that stands in the face of adversity and just dominates. You got to believe in your skills, and you got to remind Jose Aldo that there is a new era of UFC bantamweight, and Jonathan Martinez belongs in it, and Jose Aldo doesn't. So get to your stuff early and often and believe that you should beat the legend.
All right, nicely done, and that segues us to Jose Aldo, Paulie.
Jose Aldo, you better remind Rio and all these fans of who you were, who you are, and why you're one of the best to ever do it.
All right, Dean Thomas, we'll go back to you. Anthony Lionheart-Smith, you better.
Anthony, you better not underestimate Petrino because you feel like he's an up-and-comer. He's still got a lot of power. Don't underestimate him. Fight your fight, do your thing.
All right, Vitor Petrino, Lionheart's opponent. DC, Vitor Petrino, you better.
Vitor Petrino, you better get on the gas right away. You got to get in Anthony Smith's face. You got to show him that that last knockout was not a one-off, that you possess the power to shut his lights off right away. And you got to mix in some takedowns. You cannot just stand with him. You got to take him down or at least clinch him to make him worry about all grappling aspects of the fight opposed to your power. That will lead to the knockout if you get it.
All right, and right back to you on Michel Pereira. Maybe not an immediate middleweight title threat, but to win this weekend, Michel better what?
Michel Pereira, you better show Ihor Potieria, that he does not belong in there with you. Look, we all think you should be fighting a bigger name. You have to believe that. You've won 7 in a row. You have shown tremendous skills. Get on the gas, get forward, overwhelm Ihor Potieria, and get the dub, and then move your way into the top 15.
All right, and last but certainly not least, repping the fighting nerds, Caio Borralho, you better what?
Caio Borralho, you better diversify your game and make sure you use all of it. You don't just focus on trying to knock him out, even though I said that's what you wanted to do, but use your entire game. I think you have a more complete skill set. use it all, and take advantage of the one-dimensional grappler in Paul Craig.
Are you growing out your hair? What are we doing over there?
Yeah, man, I'm trying to get the little,
Get some waves.
yeah, get the little waves back.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
alright.
Get the little curl back up in
You
there.
gotta brush that a little bit more to
I
get
know,
the wave.
I gotta brush it. I
Brush-
gotta, because I
You
just
should've brought
started
your
though.
brush. Remember you brought your brush
I
before?
normally used to, man, but I forgot it this time.
We look forward to the progression of UFC 302. All right. Anybody know the song by Fish, Story of the Ghost? Maybe not. This is the story of the finish, though. This is an exercise we do on the weigh-in show. We have 3 of the brightest minds in mixed martial arts here assembled. So we ask you guys to essentially look back at a finish involving one of the fighters on this roster. We call it Story of the Finish, not just about the finish, but of course what led to it. So the mixed martial artist, formerly known as the Irish Dragon, the Iron Lung Paul Felder, take it away.
All right, well, I want to break down Jonathan Martinez versus Cub Swanson and how he beautifully destroyed the legs of the veteran Cub Swanson. He works that inside leg kick so well. And what Jonathan Martinez does so well is that left kick, you don't know where it's going to go. It could be the inside leg that you see there, he finishes him. It could be to the body, it could be a teep up the middle, and it could be a head kick. He disguises it so well. He doesn't telegraph at all where it's going to go, and I think that is what makes him so dangerous, especially in that southpaw stance. If Jose Aldo comes out orthodox, he's in trouble for that inside leg kick because he will throw that with reckless abandon.
Dean Thomas, Story of the Finish. What do you have for us?
And I got to go with Aisman Lucindo, and she's just been a tremendous amount of fun to watch because she's relentless, and there's just something about her that I think that kind of resonates with her. Look at her against Brogan Walker here. She just, when she lets her hands go, and this is what stands out to me, is when she's able to let her hands go, the hand speed is going to be tremendous, and I think that's going to really help her out against Kavakevich because Kavakevich doesn't move her head well. So if she can let them hands go, the hand speed could be the big difference. Here's another clip against Yasmin Ugari. Who could ever forget that fight because that was her first time inside the octagon, and she was just absolutely tremendous. I'm a big fan.
DC. Story of the Finish. A lot of homework for this program, by the way. Only my second time being up here. A lot of homework for the weigh-in
It's not easy. It's not easy. Like, you know, we mess around, but it's not easy. All right, so here's the thing. In this fight right here with Jonathan Martinez fighting against Adrian Yanez, I want to show you guys how you have to be able to pivot while inside the octagon. Roll the clip here. So Jonathan Martinez is fighting Adrian Yanez, and he goes into the fight with the idea that he's going to take what's given. First leg kick tells him, okay, I need to go back to this because of the reaction of Yanez. So then he goes back to the inside leg kick. Granted, this is a very difficult kick to throw because you are southpaw and the guy's conventional. One gets checked, you can really hurt yourself. We saw it with Weidman, we saw it with Anderson, all those guys. But for Martinez, look at him. He was throwing this kick defensively. He was throwing this kick off of Yanez's attacks. He was throwing it off of his attack. And he constantly battered the inside leg of Adrian Yanez. Now look at Yanez. He's just waiting for the next one. He can't even react. And then Martinez with just slight face, Paulie. Yeah. Look at his hands. Barely moving, just enough to get Yanez's hands up. Then he, look, kick. Yanez is checking the air. We have not seen many that can throw these kicks as effectively as Jonathan Martinez. And he's okay with the jab because the jab is as good as those kicks. Now watch. One more, bang. That's it. And that one was short. That one wasn't even square. That one was short. He caught the foot on the last one, but he was beat so bad that he ultimately went down.
And that's not easy to do, man. The inside kick against somebody in the opposite stance.
So it's easier to get countered that way.
Yes, and you get checked.
Yeah.
Somehow he's able to stay in position, not really turn over to get countered, and he just whips it up there.
Well,
I mean, it's phenomenal.
Him and Gutierrez, they are so effective with those kicks. And we asked him in the fighter meeting, what is training with this guy who almost mirrors your style look like? They said it's a chess match. And I find ways to get to my actions. That's why he's so effective in there with other guys, because they don't know where it's coming.
Yeah.
And he throws it from anywhere.
He's able to do it in the gym against guys that know it's coming, know the counters, and know each other so well. So when they get in the octagon, it's like, okay,
they're lost.
You don't know my style.
Yanez was like just,
and
when
that
you
was
start
a top
doing
prospect fight between those two guys, right? We were very high on Adrian Yanez, and those two, it was going to see who's going to move forward. And while here he is fighting.
When I'm standing in front of you and I'm just doing this shit, like I'm just picking my leg up because I don't want my foot on the ground to get kicked again, you know you've done some great work.
By the end of the fighter meeting, we were offering Jonathan Martinez and Chris Gutierrez money to come watch them actually train at Factory X, which certainly would be worth the price of admission, but So will be the co-main event. Jonathan Martinez, number 12 in the world, coming to Rio into the belly of the beast to take on Jose Aldo in the co-main event.
This distinction was but an eventuality. To watch Aldo compete was to watch a man who not only revolutionized the featherweight division, but who carved out his place on the Mount Rushmore of all-time greats. Welcome to the Hall of Fame, Jose Aldo Jr.
Fazer Hall da Fama, isso tudo. Então, cara, primeiro a realização de um sonho, né? Cara, no momento que eu recebi o Hall da Fama, não tinha nem em mente que eu voltaria, né? Era um sonho voltar no Rio de Janeiro, UFC Rio de novo. Então, é que virou a chave, tô de novo aí, então, com a mesma gana, com a mesma empolgação, cara, com a mesma força de vontade de chegar lá dentro e mostrar tudo aquilo que eu sempre mostrei.
The King of Rio is a distinction bestowed only on Brazil's best, and Jose Aldo most definitely qualifies.
He was a monster. He was a destroyer. Oh! That's it. Trying to finish it. And it is all over. He is, without a doubt, one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters ever.
The man's an absolute living legend.
Então, sim, eu acho que hoje eu primeiro quero chegar lá dentro, fazer uma grande luta, uma grande exibição. Aí sim todo mundo vai falar, ele tá de novo na corrida pelo título.
I'm excited to fight Aldo just because he's a big name. He's fought everyone. He's been around for a long time. You know, he was the king of 145 division, and you know now I get the opportunity to fight him. So, yeah, I'm glad he came back. I've been asking for these big names just because I know I could beat all of them. I know I could. I train hard. I do everything I can, and I feel like I'm in the same level as them.
He's a soft-spoken guy, but man, when Martinez gets into this octagon, he lets his skills speak for him.
He's really powerful. Everything that he throws.
This is a bantamweight to really keep an eye out.
I just feel like I'm real dangerous because the way I fight, you know, my kicks, and I'm always putting pressure on my opponents until I break them.
Wow! Just like that, Jonathan Martinez ends it.
I just feel like I'm a younger, hungrier guy. You know, he's had his chance, so now it's just my turn to go in there and just show my skills and show that I belong.
And that's gonna do it. Jonathan Martinez kicks his way to his biggest victory. 6 wins in a row for the Dragon.
Sim, então acho que eu tenho que respeitar primeiramente, eu tenho que preparar como fosse uma disputa de título, para me chegar lá dentro e vencê-lo.
This guy is still at top form, 14 plus years into the game.
Hoje em dia eu posso falar que no peso galo não tem ninguém com o boxe que eu tô hoje. Eu vou tentar caçá-lo do início ao fim. E o Jonathan tentando sair. E eu sim, eu sei que eu vou encontrá-lo e vou nocauteá-lo.
Jose Aldo, turning back the clock.
I'm excited to go fight him in his hometown. And I'm not gonna have no fans, but you know, at the end of the day, it's just me in there with him. So I feel like I'm just gonna go in there and make a statement and get him out of the second round.
No UFC 301, eu acho que vocês vão ver só o retorno do Rei do Rio de novo, né? De uma maneira melhorada, igual o Fênix, né? Surgindo das cinzas. Eu sei que eu vou nocauteá-lo.
All right, we are back live on the UFC 301 official weigh-in show. Daniel Cormier is warming up on some penalty kicks. You all know the love affair this nation has with mixed martial arts, but also football and soccer as well. And so in goal today, shout out to Grossmont High School's own Michael Lappy-LaPlante, our lead pay-per-view producer. This guy actually played goalie in high school. And it is too bad that we don't have a regulation goal today. But we each get 5 shots. We're going to try to score on Lappy. And the winner of the last game, the newlywed game, me and DC get to pick the order. So, DC, you're trying to go first. You have 5 shots to score on the former high school netminder. Okay?
I'll go.
All right.
I'm like the star boy.
DC gets 5 shots
in
here.
a row, John?
5 in a row for DC. I mean, Lappy's almost as big as the goal. Oh!
Big save.
Nice save there by Michael Lappy-LaPlante, who
nice
did
little pass there with the camera on shoulder and everything.
Goalkeeper did ask us to move the tape back about a foot after rehearsal.
Move it back.
Yeah, you moved it. Oh, you did move it back in. All right, DC's 0 for 1. I feel good about this offering. Oh! No! Kick save and a beauty.
But he's the whole goal.
That's tricky. It is.
He's the whole goal.
We need like a 6th grader. All right, DC's 0 for 2.
Got to aim for the nose.
I'm trying.
Yeah, one of my 5's going to try to take his head off. Oh! Let's go! That's it!
He's like the
DC.
star.
Look at that delay.
He's like the star, boy.
That was good.
He's like the star, boy. Bukayo Saka.
Marin Skific, rack a replay on that.
mean,
DC's on the board.
Bukayo Saka.
Outstanding.
This is 4.
Oh, nice save, Laps. Hey, you're on the board, man.
One more, right?
Oh, my bad. Heads up.
I mean, are we trying to blast or score? I'm just going to blast off.
You might be better off just.
It's a little bit
ripping it.
more fun than emceeing the morning weigh-in.
How many points is a knockout?
Oh!
What is it?
Almost snuck that in.
That's all right. You got it in.
Come on, right.
Dean Thomas.
God, he's good. You're good. You think so?
If you
50
really
more
want to
shots.
know, it was a. If you really want to know, it was a torn ACL that prevented Lappy from going on to collegiate greatness on the soccer pitch.
Fire away, Dean.
Ooh. Need to put a little juice on that.
Hey, I'll give Lappy
Put a
credit.
little
That
stank
ball
on it.
is close for him to be taking these shots.
He's gonna be tired by the end, John. I think we'll score in the last one.
Gassing a little bit?
He's tired. Look at him.
Ooh, post.
Dino, a couple nice shots, but the post got in the way there.
The post is not your friend, Dean.
I see that.
I forgot Dean's son plays soccer. He's got that.
Give him a stop, Dean.
Oh! Nutman!
Right down the middle.
Fuck yeah, man!
Right down the middle.
I was afraid we were going to go
That's the way to go.
Time hole.
Yeah. Right down the middle.
Tweeners?
Right down the middle.
What's this, 3 or 4?
This is 4.
Shot
I
4.
kept trying to go to the side, Jay.
I'm just.
You
All
ready?
right.
Ready?
Fire away.
Third attempt.
Whoa. Just a bit
A
outside.
little bit outside.
If that was a regulation size net, Dean would have made that.
Yeah.
No,
All right,
stop
here we
it.
All right,
go.
fifth and final
That's time,
attempt.
To beat DC.
For the lead.
Oh!
Whoa.
Nice save.
Nice save,
Well
Laps.
done.
Way to go
Hey,
up top,
hey, the
though,
way you do
Dean.
that, you like Bernie Mac on Life. Jiggle-a-ling. You like Jiggle-a-ling. Give him that one, Jiggle-a-ling.
All right, Paulie. Paulie, show him what you got,
I don't know,
Philadelphia.
man.
All right, we got the kicker.
Come on, Paulie.
Everybody's sweating. Ooh!
Nice shot.
Save, Lappy. Good save, Lappy.
It's kind of tough going high, Paulie. You know?
He don't want to get down. That's the problem. He don't want to get down.
He's going for the knockout.
Woo!
Pretty nice save there, Michael.
Oh, LaPlante's pretty good.
He getting tired though.
Yeah, he getting tired.
He getting
I
tired.
think we made the right decision
I think
tactically.
Dean's got the idea of starting far
Tactically,
away.
we got the right idea.
Paulie, that's the best shot of the day.
Wow!
Hang on, Paulie. We're racking a replay. Best shot of the day.
He's tired. He's tired. He's tired.
Paulie, that's.
You guessed right. He
Dude,
went left.
Paulie, you missed your calling, man. Jesus.
Paulie, he guessed left. You went right. This is 4, number 4. This is
Good?
number 4.
This is 4 or 5?
This is number 4.
4. 2 more shots to win the whole thing. Yeah,
Oh! Paul's killing this dude now. Lappy! Lappy selling, bro. Lappy selling. You got it.
Come on,
He
Paulie.
is fatigued now.
Paulie's got that little instep down now.
Okay,
All right.
okay,
Hey,
John, we can do this.
dude,
We can
2
do
for
this.
5 is fucking
John,
good.
give him no break. Let's get the pressure on him right now. Look at it.
All right, you know who
Where'd that
else?
one
You know
go?
who else played goalie in high school?
Let's go, John.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, bounce back.
Yeah, they're ready.
Ow!
Oh! Okay, come on, Kiwi. Take a little bit off of it.
You got it, Miles?
Yeah. Oh! Keep it low, champ. Keep it low. Keep it low, champ. Keep it low. Oh! The golden, that's too big, too small.
What's that?
Come on, Johnny. Low and hard.
Boom. Right at him. Try to score, blast his face off. Yeah. All right. Fifth and final.
Under. Keep it low,
Woo!
Oh, God damn it. Let me see the ball. Let me bend it, Felder. Felder, let me bend it.
That was 5.
That's 5. 3-way tie?
Paul
Paulie
Felder.
Paul.
St. John Newman High School, baby. Worst team in the Catholic League. Paul was a baseball player, actually.
He's going to bend it to me.
Yep.
I know.
Paul, how does it feel?
Woo!
It feels
like
good.
that?
You know, I had a lot of training when I played for St. John Newman, the worst team in the Catholic League.
Did you play soccer in high school?
2 years, yeah.
So, I don't know if we're getting to this now, but we had a late ad to the weigh-in show where I think they want us to like samba dance or something, you know?
So, now, see that I will not be winning.
Ready.
I will not be winning that one.
Hey, what about me? Can I hop in for one? give us a lesson? Yeah. You're going to teach us. What's your name?
I want to learn from the woman.
Hi, my name is Anna.
Anna, nice to meet you.
Yes, nice
so
to
you
meet
are
you.
all microphoned up and you're going to give us a little samba lesson, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
They are my friends. My name is Ana Calado. They are my friends. Natane Pérez, Thaís Luiza, Luana Bandeira, and Jefferson Caliquinho, João Pedro, Luquinhas e Jandão.
Great job, guys.
Now, let me teach you dance samba.
Let's do it.
Go ahead.
I think I need a divorce right now.
Yeah, right. Tell me about
All right, what are we doing, baby?
Let's go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's slow. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
want to do this show.
Hey, D, do the standing leg.
I love how you have the fans doing that. DC, that's probably the greatest segment in the history of the weigh-in show.
This might just be my favorite segment ever.
Let's go.
Oh my gosh.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes. 2. Now, un poquito más.
Get it up.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3.
Quick beat, Paulie. Come on, DC.
I look good.
Holy Are we done? Are we done? Are we done?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Girls, thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. Oh, my God.
We're going to the rock.
We give hugs in America, you know. Indeed, we give hugs in America.
We give
you
hugs
know?
in America.
We give hugs in America.
do this.
Hey, fellas, thank y'all so much. You know, we're not going to hug y'all, but hey.
Hold on.
Oh, my God.
He walks away, champ.
Back up, dude. What do you want my fan for? Lappy's about to die.
You give me your phone number?
What
or
are
no?
we doing?
We are
we done?
continuing with the official UFC 301
Wait, we're not
weigh-in show.
done?
We're not done. You know what? We're going to get on out of here. We're all sweating. Thanks to our producers for putting this whole thing together. UFC 301 weigh-in show is a wrap. Shout out to Andre Lemos, our great caricature artist. Michael Lappy, LaPlante stepping in goal star of the program, RJ Clifford. For the Iron Lung, Paul Felder, Dean Thomas, Daniel Cormier, John Anik signing off. We will see you guys live on pay-per-view Saturday night.
Still chugging.
Paulie doing the Northeast crowd.
John,
Yeah? You think I can dance?
You should have got the thing between me and you. You're a better dancer.
Those are some attractive women.
I think I was just paying too much attention to the dancers.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
Dancing. I don't know if I've ever had more fun on a weigh-in.
We'll take it.
Never had to sweat as much.
Ha!
That was amazing.
It's between you.
My contract is supposed to be getting renegotiated, and I was going to cut the weigh-in show out.
No.
But after that, I'm back,
Don't cut
baby.
the weigh-in show
After
out.
that, I'm back. I'm back after that, Dan. After that, I'm back, baby.
All right, thank you all for indulging us. One more sleep. See you on pay-per-view.
Oh, my God.
Man, I killed the beer pong. I killed the acai bowl. I
When
killed
you
the
hosted, it
newlywed
was pretty
game.
good, too.
It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
It's as if I went to school for theater.
And Lappy did pretty good too.
Lappy looked
Lappy,
terrible, man. Look how not athletic he is.
Oh, of course we're gonna
I
show
love
all
that
the
we show
goals.
only the ones we scored on. He looks terrible. Oh, okay. Here we go. We back. We back.
Oh my God.
Now we back. That is just. They are just so
Look at
talented.
Dean just living in the
They are
moment.
so talented,
They
John.
pay me
And they're
for this.
naked. No,
I
we saw
tried.
them.
You know, I at least tried out there. It did not go well.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Hey.
Guys, I've just been told the girls want to take a picture with you guys. Is that okay?
Now we get
Is that okay?
sexy up in here. Now we get sexy up in here. So turn off the lights and light a candle.